Hello guys, welcome to the stream. Just sorting a few things out, but today we're going to be doing some more from the Angels and Demons that we've been doing the past couple of days and listening to some more Batman. But bear with me guys, I'm just setting a few things up as I'm live guys, and I'm using my camera again to show you this here. I've just got to sort things out, make sure everything's good before we start, because yesterday we had a bit of buffing problems. So I'm going to make sure the playlist is good, making sure that you can see okay, and then we'll begin. But while I do guys, why don't you listen to the playlist in the background until I've got this myself sorted.
Universe that is not in the mainline universe. I am stating it very clearly right here before everyone assumes this is a mainline book. In an alternate universe, it's time for the Joker to be cured and start questioning Gotham in their action line book. In an alternate universe, it's time for the Joker to be cured and start questioning Gotham in their actions of supporting Batman. White Knight is an incredible story.
And again, guys, you listen to the comic story, but I am Blut084, BLUT084, art and games here every day on YouTube, occasionally on Mixer, every day and night over on Instagram.
Late night, the Batmobile speeds off through the gates of Arkham Asylum. As it pulls up, the guards come walking down the steps, stating, "Right this way, sir." While the men walk, a familiar yet different voice asks, "How is he?" The cell doors open, and inside, Bruce Wayne, Batman, sitting in his cell, chained up like the other inmates. One of the guards tells Jack Napier, the man who used to be the Joker, that he hasn't said a word.
It's not looking too bad. And again, I've got to use my phone for comments, so if I don't see them all straight away, guys, I do apologise for that. But I will check them periodically, and if my phone does need charging again, then that just is a pain in the bum. When I'm digitizing, it's a little bit different when I draw. I actually use the camera for everything that I've got.
The Joker makes it over, but inside of the Batmobile,
and at this moment, I'm just sort of readjusting, making sure you can see everything, and everything is good. But I think the playlist is working fine. And now you can see as well, you can see all the things that I'm going to use, and all the tools I can see. You can see down the bottom right, down here. But this is what we're going to be digitizing today, guys. We did finish the drawing off yesterday, which this was the end result, and that one is in paper now. If you want to go and check that one out, guys, we did ink that one and use a few bit of Copic markers to change the coloring on it. But what I've noticed that to get it to the digitizing stage here is that what I'm doing is, well, it's not wrong, but it just takes me absolutely ages. What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to make different layers like I normally do here, but I'm going to be coloring on painting straight on top of it. Instead of outlining everything, I'll outline things afterwards so you guys can see the different shading. Because what I've noticed, guys, it is taking me too long really to get this thing done, and the outlines they don't seem to help too much. What I'm going to do, guys, again, I'm going to use each layer and then go back over each layer and then do the detail afterwards, so I can get all the coloring in down first and then texturize afterwards. If you tuned in last week, you'll notice that it took me a long time, and I just wasn't happy with it last week, guys. So I've looked up a few more YouTube videos, sort of get more of a hang of this app. Again, this app is completely free, and if you would like to know where I get it from, guys, ask in the comment section, and I'll leave it there for you.
That's the thing. I only pretend that we're a team because it gives you some form of purpose. You can't see the whole truth, and you don't matter. Not to me, Gotham, or anyone. The Joker begins picking himself up, asking, "So we're gonna lay all of our cards on the table, huh? Guess that means I don't have to hold back." Batman tells him, "I'm not holding anything back."
Hi there, mate. How you doing, mate? Dead Boy Asylum. I'm still in the middle of setting up, but I've got a playlist in the background of Batman. And this is what we drew yesterday on paper. This is the actual paper version of it. I did all this yesterday on the yesterday's stream, but I think you checked that one out already. And today we're going to be digitizing. I'm just sort of figuring out things here. I'm going to be making a few layers on this side, mate, in a moment. So I'll just sort of click. Make a few layers. And each layer, I'll do wings, I'll do the body, trousers, arms, hands, and such, and things like that. But if you want to leave some comments, mate, I can still see them. If I don't see them straight away, I am looking on my phone for the comments today, because normally I would look on the screen because I'll be drawing on the paper, but as I'm not. But again, while I'm not talking too much, there is a playlist of Batman in the background that you guys can listen to.
You want to get better, then open up. He pops the top of the pill bottle and he gets pouring the pills.
Dude, I've already done that. I did that earlier on.
Forcing him to swallow. As foaming is a drip out of the corners of his mouth.
I've already sent you a friend request there, mate.
Hits save and walks away.
You're talking about the PS4 one again?
His mind beginning to put
I did that yesterday.
Back together again. Before, when he was
I found your name,
Napier, aspiring
like you put there, and I have. I've already done that, mate. So you might need to check your console.
He wakes up gasping from the nightmare as he sits in his cell. He looks at all of the Batman and Joker-themed things covering his cell. And that way, Mayor Dick shouts, asking, "What the hell is wrong with you? Batman, you've been acting completely out of control." Bruce, seemingly not listening, goes back to studying the pills that he just forced the Joker to take, stating that these pills are a complete mystery even to him. Dick shouts, "He's not even listening again." And Barbara tells him, "Please, let us in. Tell us what's wrong." Bruce looks up with a worried look and then tells the two to follow him. As the three walk down the hidden staircase, they walk into what looks like a medical facility and they see Alfred on the bed dying. Dick and Barbara run to see him and they ask what's wrong with him, and Bruce says that he's dying and they don't know the cause of it. He's been like this for a month. Dick looks over the cords connected to Alfred and notices that they have ice on them, and he says that that's Freeze tech. You're working with Freeze. Bruce tells him that they've been making a lot of progress. He was just hoping that they could fix this so that they wouldn't have to see him like this. Later that night, Jim meets with the mayor to go over their problem regarding the Joker. Turns out someone at the scene leaked out a video showing Batman working directly with the GCPD, something that Jim has publicly denied to the city. He pours himself some coffee, stating that this isn't about the Joker anymore. This is about the public seeing another case of police brutality. The mayor shouts that it's not just that. The GCPD has turned a blind eye to Batman. There shouldn't even be a Batman. The fact that we need one shows that the GCPD is incompetent. Just then the intercom turns on and the secretary outside says that Dr. Leslie Tompkins is here to see them. Leslie walks in and says that Jack Napier has made a full recovery. Took some plastic surgery, but otherwise, he's going to be fine. And Mary says, thank God, maybe now he won't sue them. And as Leslie holds up her paper, she says that's the thing. She's worried about his mental condition. Whatever those pills that he ingested were, they seemingly cure him. We would have assumed that it was fake, but you can't fake a CAT scan or IQ testing. He really is a genius. He's also been spending his time in Arkham Library for the past 3 days working on his own legal case. He's filing charges against the GCPD, Batman, and Gotham City. And given his newfound mental capacity, you should be worried. A short while later, Jack is brought into the interview room, and Jim says, Joker. And Jack stops him, telling him, Mr. He's set down in cuffs. He begins picking the lock, stating that he's going to assume that they're here to make him an offer. Jim gets up, telling him, you're lucky we don't have more time.
Hey guys, and again guys, sorry. I will be going back over this with another pen or another inking pen down here. I'm just literally getting feel for the wings and just sort of outshading them first before I go to put any detail over the top of it. So bear with me for that.
By driving an unlicensed weaponized tank. He then endangered a construction site by plowing through a cement truck and injuring 3 people, knocking over a guard. He then trespassed and destroyed thousands of dollars in medical equipment while assaulting me as I tried to surrender. And all the while, the GCPD did nothing but stand there and watch as Batman violently made me swallow those pills. So, if you want to arrest Batman, then I have no choice but to file suit against the GCPD to answer for his crimes. It is time to show Gotham that it's better than the Joker in the Dark Knight. So now, I'm going to be its White Knight. And there you have it, the conclusion to issue 1 of White Knight. Now the plan is to do one of these issues every week. And on the final week, we'll have the full conclusion to the entire storyline out for you. You may be wondering, Benny, why are you doing 6 issues of White Knight? Well, that's because every one of those issues is going to have a super clickbait title, and I thought it would be really fun to do it as a weekly thing for you guys to come back and check out until we conclude it, and then bring you a giant episode that's going to be like 45 minutes plus of the entirety of White Knight. Just a fun idea I thought would be cool to do. Plus, it helps us get through things while I go to Emerald City Comic Con. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next time right here at Comic Story.
You're actually listening to that via me, guys, and again I'm blut084 BLUT084 art and games here every day on YouTube. Again, I'm just doing a quick sketch, and I will put the detail in afterwards because it's just going to take me a while. I'm going to get the color down, then I'm going to do the inking afterwards. Give everything an outline to what I've already drew. I do apologise for that sound if it does irritate you. It is actually an advert, so I could get rid of that.
It's time to continue the storyline of Batman and White Knight, an alternate take on our favorite superhero Batman. Yeah, I said it, and if he's not your favorite, well, that's your problem, not mine. But in this universe, Joker has become sane. He's going by the name Jack Napier, and he has decided to sue Gotham for his treatment at the hands of Batman. That's where we left off. Let's continue. When we last left off with Batman the White Knight, Batman had grown more and more reckless to the point where Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon had both left his side. On top of that, we discovered that Alfred was sick and had been for the last month, and the Joker, in his final battle against Batman, had been force-fed various pills, turning him sane. Now that he is sane, he is pressing charges against the GCPD, Batman himself, and the city of Gotham for allowing Batman to go on a criminal spree of vigilantism, destroying everything around him. And in the coming days, Jack Napier goes to trial. He tells the jury and the crowds that it is time for them to put away the criminal who is the root cause for all of this. The gatekeepers, the 1%ers who allow this kind of corruption to exist in their city. As the Joker, he served his time, and now it is time for Jack Napier to give back. Fight back against these gatekeepers. And then they could reclaim the city that they all love, Gotham. It didn't take long for the jury to reach a verdict, and that verdict was to let Jack Napier free. As Jack walks the streets of Gotham, he finds himself in one of his old hangars, Zoinko's joke shop. He walks up to the door, and just before he can reach for the knob, it flies open, and Harley shouts, "Daddy, son." She then says, "Yuck, look at that face. It's so normal. How about they clean it up with some makeup?" And Jack stops her from putting the lipstick on him. He tells her to hang on. He's wanted to come back here so that they can talk. They're doing a lot of thinking. Now, please hear him out, Harley. He sits her down, telling her that first, he owes her an apology for the way he's treated her over the years. She was supportive even when he had his crazy mood swings. It was this iconic obsession with Batman, and she was caught in the middle of it. Harley shouts, "Yeah, she was. But keep talking about that stuff, and you're going to turn me on." Jack reaches into his coat, telling her that he's not joking around anymore. It was unhealthy. But now, it's all over. It's time for him to give her the version of him that she has always wanted. He kneels down, sliding a ring onto Harley's finger, and as she looks at it, she bursts out laughing, stating, "Nice try! You may have fooled the courts, but not me." Jack says, "But seriously," and she kicks him in the stomach, asking, "What did you just call me? Are you for real? Whining about love and feelings? Enough with this crap. Now go put on some freaking makeup and let's go rob something." He reaches for his medicine, and Harley grabs him, shouting, "Stop with the pills! They're messing with your head. You don't need them, you need me." Jack tries to talk, stating, "But Woody," and Harley slams his arm back down, yelling, "I am
Don't know if this tactic is going to work though, guys. Like I said, it is.
She's not. A hand
Why am I putting the wings
on
on top and even on the bottom?
Quinn picks up the ring, stating, "Hey, Jack, apology accepted." As Quinn's hyenas begin sniffing Harley, she yells, "You left!" And Quinn tells her, "Yeah, and now I'm back. Don't get me started on the violent cheerleader thing either." So to make sure that you understand that,
we've got an outline for the wings now and the two tones. I do like the two. I do like the red and yellow because it's like an angels and demon thing. What I'm going to do, guys, now is name that playlist.
With Dora freebies inside. One of the scientists says that they're ready to attempt reversing the freeze tech, Mr. Wayne. And Bruce looks up and asks Victor if he's ready. He tells him that they shall begin. Barbara looks at the small glass case with the tube in it, seeing two mice with helmets, and she shouts, "Oh my God, they're so cute with their helmets!" Victor tells Bruce to proceed, and suddenly the glass case is filled with liquid. Barbara begins panicking, shouting that they're going to drown, and as the glass fills, the mice don't. Victor lets the mice out, stating that it has been a success, and Bruce tells him congratulations. Without any more delay, Victor begins to pull the tubes off of his suit, stating that there's no time to delay. And Bruce yells, "Not yet! We have to observe the mice to make sure that they live." And Victor tells him that his help has been invaluable. He has given him a chance to save his beloved wife by harnessing technology pioneered by the Third Reich. And for that, he would like to thank both him and his father. Now, Leave me alone. Victor begins turning the dial, and Barbara asks, does he really think that he doesn't have a million ways to stop it?
See, I wasn't sure about the green yesterday. I'm not sure about the green today either. So I don't want to go putting green on there and it ends up not being the right color. I mean, I could use purple, but
Bruce says that this is what they were hoping for.
Green just seemed to be the right color to put there.
It's been about 50 years. Victor gets
doesn't really clash that much.
Lord. And Barbara yells, the mice, they die from old age. How do we know that Nora will survive?
Maybe a darker shade of rare green.
We don't. Victor crawls up to the cryo tube, and Bruce goes on stating that even if she does, they still don't have a cure for McGregor's disease, which is why she was frozen in the first place. Later, at the old Harley's apartment, Jack looks around stating that this is also normal. He sits down and he asks, so you left me in an entirely new Harley Quinn to go? He sits down telling him, yeah, you're a narcissist who suffered from dysmethia and schizophrenic personality disorder. Hell, the pills may be causing an imbalance, which is why you're normal. You probably aren't cured per se, but with the right support, you could be. Jack remains quiet, and Harley tells him, I'm a psychiatrist, remember? Jack then asks her, what did I do to make you leave me? And Harley asks, do you really not remember?
I'm going to turn the opacity up right full on that one.
If you didn't make me feel like a criminal, it made me feel free. But as we spent time together, I could see the obsession with Batman grow. It was like I was sharing you with Batman, and that's when I knew you were in love, but not with me. Things began to get worse, and that night when you abducted Robin, you almost killed him just to get something out of Batman. I stopped you, and I could see it in your eyes. The man that I loved was gone, and all that was left was the Joker. I went to Batman for help, but when I returned with Batman, you had already killed Jason Todd. All that was left was blood. We never ended up finding Robin's body. Shortly after, Jack follows Harley to the roof, and he asks, did I murder Robin? And Harley tells him, you're the only one he knows for sure. Jack sighs and says that they need to save Gotham. They need to lead a rebellion. Turn Gotham against Batman by villainizing him, showing the damage that he's done. Harley asks, so Gotham City will be saved by the least likely person, Jack Napier. And Jack tells her, yes, along with Harleen Quinzel, because I can't do this without you. The following night, Jack asks all of Gotham's worst villains to meet. He tells them that they have spent too much time fighting with each other rather than fighting Batman. Tonight, he would like to change that, but first, them all have a drink. Everyone takes a sip of their drinks, and Harley hands Jack Mad Hatter's hat. Everyone looks around asking where's Clayface, and Jack puts on the hat, telling them that he's here, more or less. What everyone doesn't know is that just prior to the meeting, Jack used the Mad Hatter's mind control to take control of Clayface. He had him dissolve into dust. And then Jack used that clay and put it into the drinks of everyone who is here right now drinking. The hat would have had so much more of a problem controlling a small army, but if they could control one person and maybe put that person into everyone, everyone's eyes begin to change green when Harley asks if it's working. And Jack tells her yes, of course it's working. And there you have it, the conclusion to Batman White Knight #2. Now, don't forget to subscribe as we are bringing you White Knight videos every week. Every week you're getting one of the Matilda story conclusions.
Okay guys, it's just a playlist I've got in the background, so if you do want to go and check them out, feel free to do that. Or if you want me to know where I find these, definitely ask me down below in the comment section. Or you can ask me live now if you're watching.
And Comics Explained comes together to debate and discuss your favorite things in comic books. And that's pretty much it. I'll see you next time right here at Comic Story.
Might change it up in a minute, but these seem to be quite short. But as you've probably heard in the first one, he's doing it on purpose. So if it does end faster than I want it to, what I'll do, guys, is I'll pick another one from the DC universe, as this week is Wings. And I was hoping for a little bit more to do with the Batman today, but we've had Batman Dark Metal already. And we're going to turn that off. Give me a second. I've already had Dark Metal, and now we're just sort of going through what's left on their channel. Next week, it's going to be something a bit different again.
Since they support Batman. Now, when we last left off, we discovered that his intentions were not as well-intentioned as we thought, as he has now gotten all of Gotham's villains to work around by using the Mad Hatter's hat and some pieces of Clayface. Yep, people ate Clayface. Enjoy the story. When we last left off in Batman the White Knight, Joker had become sane and decided to sue Gotham City, telling them that the acts that Batman does cost way more money than anything the Joker could do. We also discovered that there has been a fake Harley Quinn this entire time, and the real Harley came back and began to help the Joker with his new plan. Well, I should be calling him Jack Napier, his real name. When we last left them, Jack had gone ahead and placed Clayface particles into drinks that he had given to all of the villains in Gotham. He now controls them all with the Mad Hatter's hand. And at this point over at Zonko's, the new Harleen begins to get dressed, stating that he's just a liar. After taking so many of those damn pills, like a damn drug addict, she's going to destroy the Joker legacy. The worst part, she's enabling him. Anything for her desperate romance. She's just holding him back. Think that he won't break loose, but the Joker, he's more than just a man. He's a riot. Later, in the streets, all of the villains begin to attack the city together. Their strikes are all in sync, creating as much chaos as possible. Batman drives into Bane, stating, "We need to hurry and move this to a less populated area." And Batman then fires 2 hooks, one hitting Croc and Bane, and he begins to drive off. As Batman is driving up in the helicopter, Jim tells the pilot to focus on Batman. They can't lose sight of him. And Harvey shouts, "We can't follow him. He's going to be fine. It's our guys that we need to watch over. They're completely overwhelmed down there." Jim shouts that they can't win this without Batman. Now follow my orders and follow Batman. Back on the ground, Batman whips the Batmobile around, flinging both Croc and Bane into a construction site. And he gets out stating, "This is all a part of the Joker's plan." Croc and Bane look at each other and they begin to tear down the construction site. And Batman tells Dick and Barbara that they need to follow. Barbara tells him to wait. The building is going to collapse, and just as Batman begins to chase after, the support beams begin to give way, and they come crashing down on top of him. He begins to pull his bloody and broken body out of the debris, and Barbara goes to check on him, and he shouts, "Just get away from me!" He crawls into the Batmobile, telling the computer to set auto drive, medical protocol, Wayne Tech hidden entrance. As it begins to speed off, Jim's helicopter touches down, and Harvey shouts, asking, "What are you doing? We just left the others. We used to be cops." Barbara looks back at Jim and asks, "What is happening to them?" As the cops clear out, Jack heads over to the law offices of Hill and Hill, where Croc and Bane created the destruction, and Harley says, "It worked." Jack tells her that it did. With the police busy with everyone, they could finally get what they came looking for. He starts sifting through the filing cabinets, asking, "Does anyone know why lawyers and accountants make paperwork so dull and confusing?" He pulls out a stack of papers and he says, "It's to hide secrets. And this is Gotham's biggest secret." Back with Batman, he pulls himself out of the Batmobile, losing more and more blood with every step. He tries to bandage himself, and as he looks at Alfred, he holds up his hand. The pain begins to become too much for Batman, and as Alfred looks up, he sees him fall to the ground. The next morning, Jack sets out to hold a press conference to show the things that he's recently learned about. He tells everyone that for too long,
As you can see, guys, I've got different layers now. Each layer has a different color, has a different thing, and has all in places where it needs to be, so it doesn't overlap. So when I do color things in, I can't overlap them, so I use the right layer. I'm just going to add a few more details, then I'm going to put some more inking sort of things on top of that.
$3 billion. That money was for floods and hurricanes that never happened.
Much quicker process than what I was doing before.
Batman.
Much quicker process. At least I can get the colors down and I can get the things that I want, and then I can start shading, and then I can start putting things on there. Because what I was doing, guys, is just I was doing it all completely backwards. I was outlining everything that didn't really need it.
Joker's knowledge of the city to remove the plague that has been haunting you. Later, as Batman begins to wake up, he sees himself lying on a bed with wires connected to him. 3 tech wires. He asks, "Did Alfred?" And when he looks up, he sees Alfred sitting in a chair. Batman calls out to him, and when he gets out of bed, he notices that it's already too late. Alfred took himself off life support to rescue Batman, to rescue Bruce Wayne, his son. The next day, Bruce held services for Alfred's burial. The whole time, no one ever said a word. As the night sky comes, Dick and Barbara stand by Thomas and Martha Wayne's graves. Dick says Bruce did his best.
What might be a better thing to do is put the top as well as the trousers on the same layer, thinking about it. So what I might do is do that quickly, get rid of this layer here, or get rid of what is on this layer.
Barbara looks over and sees the grave that is there for Jason.
And then put it on the same layer as the trousers.
And Dick tells her that he was the first Robin, supposedly killed by the Joker, but they never found a body.
And then put the belt on the different things, like the thing as the chain, the hands, and the face.
Dick goes on telling her that Jason was like a son of Bruce, closer than he could ever be.
Yeah, I'm going to do that quickly.
Barbara says, Bruce is going over the edge.
So let's not call that one top. Let's call that one chain. No, let's call it
She grabs Dick by the collar, screaming that it's a fight between us and Bruce. Alfred was Bruce's moral bearing, and without him, there's nothing protecting Gotham. Elsewhere, the new Harley makes her way into a building asking, where is everyone? Harley looks down and sees some clay.
Let's click that one and then we'll rub all this out a minute.
She notices the Hatter sitting off in the corner and pulls the mind control device off of him, and the Hatter
So
shouts,
what I mean, guys, you can just,
without
rubbing anything that you don't want rubbing off, this can now get removed, and you don't have to worry about anything getting removed that you don't want removed.
And Neo asks, was Jack here? Hatter begins to say his riddles, and Neo shouts, English, you creepy leprechaun! And Hatter begins
no, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm gonna have to do that because I did that because of the wings, didn't I? The wings are a pain in the bum.
Is he even alive? And touches him. And that's when Clayface begins to turn to dust, only leaving his brain behind. Neo catches the statement that that's nasty, but she's pretty sure he's alive.
Unless I make another layer
Back at the Hatter, asking if he can
and shade the wings darker, and then that's the shading level.
Telling her, yes, as long as I'm closer to Clayface's brain. Suddenly there's a shuffle, and as Neo goes to check on it, she tells Hatter that he's welcome to tag along, but he better stop with the Alice
could have that as top.
crap. The door swings open,
And just make another layer altogether.
He says, holy smoly! And Neo tells him, that's better. And there you have it. We're continuing to move forward with White Knight as single issues here every week at Comic Story. And so subscribe to see.
And again, I can just have the feet on this layer here, and then that's sorted. It's not a problem. Then they're under the wings. Yeah, I'll just do that.
I'm really enjoying this alternate take on Batman. This Batman who's pretty much lost everything, and his moral compass is gone thanks to the death of Alfred. Yeah, I mean, it was a really sad moment. I was trying to figure out a way to convey that when we were doing the video. I thought I did an okay job. Kind of feel like maybe we should have spent more time on it, but either way, let me know what you think. Don't forget, you can join our community on Discord. Comic Story and Comics Explained fans come together to talk about comic books, video games, your favorite things in life. We talk about it all. Pretty much, it's a great community, and I would really appreciate it.
Do anything?
Join us if you're just looking to talk about comics. Anyway, I'll see you next time right here at Comic Story.
I just didn't see it. It's definitely not doing anything. Why is that not doing anything? I'm on the right layer, I think. Yeah. It's deciding it's not going to work now. Don't do that.
Running to game when you hear about Red Dead Redemption 2 Ultimate Edition. Exclusive.
Batman and White Knight is an alternate universe take on Batman. In this universe, the Joker has
you're an idiot. You know what you're doing. Still trying to use it as a razor. I keep doing that.
For his treatment at the hands of Batman, basically a vigilante sanctioned by Gotham. We also discovered that the Waynes had ties to Nazis in World War II through Victor Fries. And on top of all of this, Batman is going over the deep end, pretty much destroying Gotham because he's just losing it, because he doesn't know what's going on with Barbara, and we just lost Alfred. The story's interesting. I'm loving it. It's time to cover issue 4. In our last video, we watched the rise of the Joker, going by his real name, Jack Napier. As he shed the Joker persona, he sought to get rid of the corruption within Gotham. With all of the Gotham Knights eventually behind him, Jack wanted to unite the neglected Gotham boroughs so that they
make this layer
against Batman and the GCP.
So it's
while Jack starts to move into a more political role,
and then put it
Neo Joker
below the wings, below.
As a new day begins at Back Point,
It has to be above the wings.
Holds a rally, telling everyone at first he didn't trust Jack Napier. He thought Jack didn't understand Night Court, or what
this one has to be below the wings. Just give me a second, guys. I'm going to put this one as called hands.
And in turn, he earned his trust. God knows that he doesn't look it, but Jack Napier, he's one of them. And that is why he is voting for Napier as councilman. Jack pulls the curtains down, revealing his new campaign, and Jack takes the mic, telling him that he is honored to be here today. Many of you may know who I am, or who I once was, but that has changed. I am here to work for your forgiveness. It is time for Gotham's elites to give the power back to the people that it truly belongs to. You. Together, we will show the other boroughs how to get things done. As Jack heads off stage to lead his protest, he stops before Jim at the GCPD asking, I hear that you're here to stop my peaceful protest. Harvey tells him, you are marching without permits. And Duke tells him, that's funny, because we submitted our papers last week, and no one's gotten back to us. Harley begins yelling that he never got him, that even if he did, he doesn't help ex-cop turncoats. But while the two argue, Batman swoops down, taking both Jack and Duke down. Barbara shouts, asking, "What do you think you're doing?" And the crowds begin to shout at Batman, telling him, "Let him go!" And Jack yells for everyone, "Stop! Stop! Everyone, please back away so that no one gets hurt. I will go of my own free will." As Jack gets up, he dusts himself off, and he sits in the back of a patrol car, telling Jim, "Come sit with me. We have much to discuss." Later, at Jim's office, Jack takes a sip of his coffee and says that the first thing that he'll do as councilman is increase the budget on coffee because this is disgusting. Jim tells him, "Cut the crap. I don't care how many you've scammed. I know it's just another long con." So
okay, right, I'm getting confused with these layers, guys. So that one there's hand. No, that one's not hands. That one's top. Better rename that again then.
With it, we'll create the Gotham Terror Oppression Group.
Let's say jumper instead.
With our best vigilantes, a squad of super cops. It would be a perfect compromise, mixing vigilantism with a group of Gotham's finest. We get Batman to work with us rather than against. Batman and the kids can keep their secret identities. However, the vigilantes will wear GPS, body cameras, and play by the rules. It will allow for accountability. Batgirl is already frustrated with Batman, and Nightwing will follow her. With them, we can learn some of Batman's secret technologies. Please, look over my proposal long and hard. You'll see that the GTO is a good idea. As Jack leaves the precinct, Duke meets him outside, asking if they've already let him out. Jack tells him, "I was never actually arrested." While Jack walks down the steps, Harley grabs him, asking, "When did you become such a good guy?" Jack tells her, "Because you're there to keep me honest." Harley kisses him, telling him that she's proud of him. They'll take her out for the night on the town. Later, in the evening, Neo Joker, now in possession of Jack's Hatter technology, leads an assault on the GCPD precinct. Harvey grabs a gun, asking, "Who the hell is that? Some kind of new Joker?"
Just sending out an Instagram post, guys, because I completely forgot to do that. Bear with me. Again, my name is blut084, BLUT084, Art and Games, here on YouTube every day, occasionally on Mixer, but every day and night over on Instagram. So if you guys want to contact me and chat to me like Dude has already there in the comments, asking for friend requests. I said I already have sent him one, but if you guys want one as well, guys, just leave me a message either on the live now or if you catch it back down below in the comments section.
"No, I'm done defending. We need a new plan. Gotham will demand it. You know, Napier's right. If Batman wanted to stop crime, he would give the GCPD a fleet of Batmobiles and 1,000 utility belts. The GTO is a good plan, so if you want to help, join it. If not, stay the hell away from me." With that, Jim leaves a speechless Batman in the alleyway. Back at Jack's apartment, he watches the news on the recent attack against the GCPD, and he tries to use the control device to call the villains back. Harley tells him that it's got to be her. They have to stop the other Harley, Neo. She's planning on stealing him from her. But a voice that asks, "Why don't you let him decide for himself?" Jack and Harley turn to see Neo standing in the doorway. Crockett then grabs Jack, slamming him into a wall. And Neo tells Jack, "Come on, let him out. I know the Joker is in there somewhere. The Joker is held prisoner by those pills." And Jack asks, "What? You want to force me back into my psychosis so you can reclaim your fake romance? It was never real. You were fake." Croc releases Jack, and Neo pauses for a moment and says, "No, you're just wrong. I just need to draw him out.
Okay,
the way
right.
I'm going to do that is I'm going to be the one taking control of
I've
Gotham.
lost that,
Joker's
as I normally do,
massive ego
and there he is.
won't allow me to
So where did I get to?
Later that night, Jim
Jumper.
calls Barbara and Dick to awareness.
And then we'll have...
Asks, "Where are they? Why are they here?" Jim says they really need to talk to them. Barbara says, "Hey," and Jack Napier steps out, stating, "I'm only asking for 10 minutes of your time."
Then we'll have...
"Your vigilantism isn't working. I've come up with a method that we can all work together and adapt to change." Jack then shows them new Batmobiles, stating that he only wishes to help them. Together, we can make a fleet of state-of-the-art Batmobiles.
What should we have? What should we do? I'm getting confused here with my different layers. Give me a second, guys.
The best part is, you'll all get your own Batmobile.
I'm still here. I'm just sort of faffing with layers over here.
She's got to think bigger. Only if the Joker was here, she really misses him. Hatter looks up from his table, asking how long were they together, and Neo explains that it all started when she was working back at the bank. See, she used to be a cutter. One day
That one there.
cuts she could
Oh,
make
my
before
phone's going mental in the background here.
Showed up. The moment Joker pointed a gun at her, she realized that she actually wanted to live. She would do
Wings
anything.
layer. What I'm trying to do, guys, is not get things to overlap. I want things to overlap, but in the right place. And I don't, because these wings are overlapping in front as well as in the back. It's a bit of a pain in the bum. But what I might do is get rid of this layer on the side here and have that as the back wing layer, and then on top of the rest of it have another layer on top, but I will do that at like a later stage, I think. But I'll use this layer here to do the hands. Again, I'm going to use, there is a lot more detail to this. If I show you the actual original image, what I'm trying to do.
Finds out there's a lot of security around Victor Freeze.
Sorry about the playlist. It does buffer a little bit.
How old is he? The two of them begin to read the files, and Neo then looks at an old photo and asks, "Who is Freeze shaking hands with?" And Hatter says that is one of the wealthiest families in Gotham. Victor Freeze.
Then got the trousers underneath.
And there you have it. Batman, a White Knight.
Top thing goes on top of the wings.
Stick around and subscribe,
and then
because next week we're going to be bringing you
we have hands.
number 5. Now, I do want to answer a couple of questions that we've been getting in the comments.
Of course, hands and face.
Some people are saying, hey, I don't like you doing the single issues. I prefer the giant episodes when we put everything together. Now, I'm going to bring up the reason we're doing this, and we're only doing this test on 2 specific series. Basically, DC Metal and Batman White Knight. When they're done, our intention is to then make it into a giant video, but we're going to give you the story as it's coming out so that you can kind of get excited and hyped up and maybe go buy the next issue in the series. But let me know in the comments down below. Would you rather wait 6-7 months to actually get Batman White Knight?
No, we need hands because they are going to be the very, very top layer, so they don't get convoluted and changed and, well, they don't get mixed up with everything else. And then if I was to colour the trousers, the chain wouldn't get affected or the hands wouldn't get affected because the trousers are actually lower than the hands itself. So,
whichever works.
And then I could do the book as well.
Whatever you prefer, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget, you can also join our Discord
quickly now, actually.
Link it down below. If I'm pointing this way, it's down there. You can also find us on Twitch on Sunday and Monday. That link is also there. And thank you, everyone. I'll see you next time right here at Comic Story.
If you have a black book, I left it white on my actual piece. Yeah, like a book, which is in black. I can shade it black.
Reclamation Day is
I just thought of something else. It's going to be on top, so if I... It is going to be on top. Yeah, I do need it on top. What I'm talking about.
Good luck, all dwellers. Our future begins.
Play the beta first on Xbox One.
Batman White Knight is a storyline taking place in an alternate universe in which the Joker was force-fed pills by Batman, making him sane. Using his newfound saneness and his intelligence, he was able to sue the Gotham City Police Department because they allowed the vigilante Batman to beat on him. Then he discovered that there was a hidden fund in
Again, I'm going to keep the original image underneath for now, and then go back to it for more details.
Joker is crazy. Check out the playlist down below. But today we're going to be covering issue 5, continuing this storyline.
Don't like that. I'll just give it get rid of that. I just give it a straight edge of itself.
Batman White Knight. The Joker had recovered from his
Like that.
psychosis thanks to mystery pills. And
There we go. Nice and easy.
Jack Napier, taking the position of a councilman and turning Gotham against Batman, telling them that they deserve better than a vigilante who destroyed the entire city. Our story has now progressed where he discovered that there are actually 2 Harleys, one of which is now becoming Neo Joker to try and draw Joker out of Jack Napier. And we last left off discovering that Victor Freeze was around during World War II and he was actually a Nazi working with the Wings. The next morning, back in the warehouse, Jack takes his pills for the day, and then he begins to cough up blood. Harley runs over to check on him and tells her that he's fine.
What I do need to do is another layer
Jack tells her
as
sometimes
well.
just upset.
It can't be underneath the jumper.
They're supposed to train, remember? As Jack begins to work on his fighting skills,
I don't think that's doing too badly, though.
As he looks, Barbara
No, I'll get rid of that quickly.
Batman tells them there's something not sitting right about all of this. 2 massive assaults.
And then do another
and the other on GCPD headquarters by
layer.
who never worked together. What's more, none of them said a single word. The only 2 people who spoke were the Hatter and Neo Joker. So it's possible that they were using Hatter's mind control.
Again, guys, I'm kind of still learning how to do all of this.
Dick tells them that none of them saw any of the Hatter cards. Barbara asks what's on Batman's fingers. He tells her that it's Clay. Clayface was the only criminal not here. He must be involved in this. He bags up the sample, and Barbara begins to say that there's something else. And Batman quickly says, "You want me to join the GTO?" The There's no chance in hell that I'm teaming up with Jack Napier and the GCPD's new attack force. Dick tells him that Napier has changed, and Batman tells him nothing has changed. Joker got out of Arkham and is trying to hurt Gotham with his latest scheme. We've all seen it before. Dick walks up to Batman telling him, yeah, until Napier breaks the law, there's nothing we can do about it. And Batman tells him, you want him to win, don't you? Because it'll prove me wrong so that you can believe that he's better than me. Dick tells him that he's just afraid that this will make him worse than Napier. That everything he's done was for nothing. That he took the wrong lesson from his parents' death. Batman pulls back to swing at Dick, but Barbara charges it, throwing Batman to the side. She then turns back to Dick, shouting, you know what? You both suck. Why is it such a pissing contest between you? And why am I always in the middle? Bruce gave you everything, Dick. You don't get to talk to him like that. And Bruce, you need to carefully think about your next move, because Gotham is losing its patience with Batman. Bruce stands on the ledge, and rather than answer, he fires a hook and swings off into the city. A short while later, up in Jack's apartment balcony, Harley drinks her coffee and says that she was wondering when he would come. Batman leans out of the shadows, telling her, Joker's in over his head. This is your chance to help him. She asks, so you can put him in jail? No thanks. Batman takes out the clay sample and says, I know Joker used clayface to manipulate everyone. Harley says, his name is Jack. If you can prove it, then arrest him.
Okay, so now I need to go to... Maybe I need to go to the wings layer itself, actually.
So I'm begging you, please let it go before it's too late. Batman turns and punches the stone pillar.
Oh, this is getting confusing. Oh, this is getting confusing. Maybe make another layer altogether.
But he can't see it because he's so obsessed with figuring out how it all went wrong.
I can have that, because what I'm thinking here is I'm going to need to colour this underneath, this jacket, jumper. So if I...
Harley tells him, just stop it. I meant everything that I said. Maybe if the two of you weren't so stubborn, you would realize how similar you both are.
No, I won't have that layer as... I'll have that as book and chain and face
Information is the key to power. Every successful criminal
and the jumper, and then make another layer altogether. Do the hands and skin and such and things.
Hatter asks, what are you going to do, storm the fortress? And she yells, no, I'm the one in charge.
So there's, that's hands.
Begin to creep out of the wall and up into the mansion and poison ivy.
Face, and then that frees me up to be able to do the mask afterwards, because he's got a mask and he's actually got his face exposed, so it's not like there's his skin and such like that. So let's pick a decent colour for his skin.
The files in the Freeze family and the SS. It looks like the project
I want to be pale, but not completely white.
There's a creak of wood, and Neo tells Hatter to be quiet. Someone's here. And Bruce runs out in his pink robe, shouting, oh my lord, you hooligans, get off my property! As Neo and Hatter run out, Ivy drags Bruce with them, and the three hop back into the van to make their escape. A short while later, a car pulls up, and Dick gets out asking what happened. And Bruce says that he's not sure. They broke in and they found a hidden room that even he didn't know about. Harvey pulls it behind him, yells that he's got them on the radar. Nice robe, Mr. Wayne. Dick laughs as he gets back into his car and says, yeah, stay put, Mr. Wayne. The GTO will handle this. Up ahead on the highway, the Hatter tries to escape the GTO, and with a new fleet of Batmobiles,
I'm going to put black.
Barbara, Dick,
no, I'm not.
Harvey all close in on
do all that afterwards.
Harvey use their cars to pinch the van, and then the mind control villains begin to pull out, attacking everyone. Well, everyone begins to avoid the oncoming.
Because that's under the jumper. That means it gets. See what I mean, guys? It gives me a freedom to say that's on top of the clothing is on top.
Up in the helicopter above, Jim shouts for him to stand down. The GTO have this under control. And Barbara then radios it asking, what are you doing? And Bruce tells her, protecting my family. And he steps on the gas. Batman's Batmobile begins to pick up speed, pushing the van closer to the edge until he rams both vehicles over. The vehicles crash into passing freight ships, causing it to crash into one of the support pillars, keeping the bridge up. But while this is happening, Batman ignores it, grabbing Neo, asking, what did you take for the waves? As Neo pulls back, her backpack opens, and Batman sees Clayface's brain.
That's why I want to get the layers right, so I'm actually getting the right layer in the right place.
And Neo snatches the backpack and kicks Batman off of her and begins to make her escape.
And when I go
as Batman gets back up, he looks at what else he grabbed and sees the pictures of his parents.
I can then go
just then the support pillar on the bridge gives, causing
like
the
so.
bridge to begin
That's underneath.
below. Once the stones stop falling, Jim flies by the wreckage and announces to everyone that he is putting an APB out. He wants Batman arrested. In the eyes of the GCPD, he is no longer a vigilante. He is a super criminal. Later at Freeze's lab, Freeze goes over the most recent data from his test, and he reads that his aging is irreversible. Then the paper is slammed down onto the table with Batman's bloody hand and the picture of his parents. He looks at Freeze and he tells
Doesn't matter, it's overlapping a little bit.
And Freeze tells them that the Waynes are a family of many secrets. On today, Bruce. Elsewhere, Neo and Hatter begin to follow the blueprints to an old abandoned tunnel. They walk in to find an old facility that used to be run by Freeze, and then Mad Hatter flips the power breaker.
And we're gonna get rid of
They see a giant machine mounted to the wall, and it's a large
book for now, and then we'll do this again. The hand.
The cliffhanger for White Knight #5. So go check it out at your local comic book store, or you can subscribe to our channel to get the conclusion to this story. I'll see you next time right here at Comic Story, and burning out.
Play new content first on PS4.
Just a second, guys. Get rid of that.
Batman White Knight is an alternate universe take on the idea of Batman and the
Oh,
Joker.
good morning.
In this universe, the Joker has taken pills which have made him sane, and he decided to go by the name of Jack Napier. He has then turned Gotham City completely against
I'm
Batman
doing things
by
backwards
doing
like I
things
normally
like
do. You know when I
losing
outline
money,
things
breaking
before,
four parts of town.
I'm doing it completely backwards. So I'm getting all the colours down first, and then I'm going to add the details afterwards. Because I don't know if I was doing just what I was doing. It just really took absolutely ages. But as you can see, I've got loads of different layers now. They're all different layers, but they're all different things. But I still got the original image underneath.
Batgirl in his office, asking one question, the one question that everyone wants to know: who is?
So then once I've done all the different layers of skin, things like that,
and Jim says that he doesn't like it either.
I can
Batman's left him no choice.
the detailing afterwards.
Recklessness put Gotham Gate Bridge into the bay, allowing every super criminal to escape. Dick tells everyone that he'll help bring Batman in. Not like that. Not revealing his identity.
And I've got the
Jack
book.
Napier
Oh,
then says,
oh shit, that didn't work.
he broke the law as Batman and he needs to be arrested as Batman. Once under arrest, we'll remove the mask for everyone to see who he really is. And Dick says it again. I will help you take
But
Batman
that's
down,
not
but the mask stays
problem.
on. That is non-negotiable. Barbara asks,
No, I just need to
after everything that
do.
he's done for you, you should all be ashamed.
Oh,
You
it's
owe him
alright.
another
Fuck.
chance. Batman has served Gotham for decades. And now you're going to ignore all of that for a seemingly reformed Joker? Well, I won't be a part of this any longer. Jack places his hand on Dick's shoulder, telling him, you did the right thing.
Saying I could
And
just
Dick
put
turns
it
back,
there.
punching Jack Napier, shouting,
Oop.
I'm here for
Like that.
Gotham, not you. Jim grabs another cigarette, stating,
And that means that's under the belly.
our GTO cars are tough, but not
And that's a bit
Batmobile
between the
tough.
two.
Duke suggests that they probably use
Just
an
piss the
E8
hand.
to stop Batman.
Oh, I love
The
doing
issue
this.
that all of their GTO cars will be private. Montoya then says that they need something as tough as a Batmobile. Something animal. Something old school. Jack asks,
Oh, pain in the bum.
Dick tells them, no, but I could steal one. A short while later, the original Batmobile
Just get rid of the book altogether. Oh, shit, I don't know what I did then.
Sitting inside blindfolded, asks if everyone's in position. And everyone calls out Roger over the radio, but from there, everyone begins to move into position to force Batman to take a sharp
Don't want to put
through a
bean.
warehouse. The autopilot for the analog Batmobile follows Batman close behind, and once both of them are inside, Montoya calls out to light them up. Several spotlights turn on, shining down on the two Batmobiles, and as Batman shouts, trying to cover his eyes, Jim says that he's turning off the engine. Now, as the EMP hits and Batman is still dazed from the lights, Jim takes off the blindfold and turns the car back on. He starts to give the Batmobile more gas, and he says that he's sorry for doing this, but someone's got to get the refuel. He rams into the side of Batman's car, causing both of them to crash into the nearby power line. He then slowly crawls out from underneath the wreckage. And
Book's gonna have to go on to another layer.
Joker, we know this. And as Jim gets out, he calls, maybe the Joker isn't a problem right now. It's Batman.
I've been doing this
Batman
since I
quickly
started,
shouts
going
over
back
Ledger
over things and
that
changing
the
things.
voice called out that he's not easy to get over. Jack walks out telling him the fanboy inside of him is still rooting for him. Part of him never wants this to end. Batman pulls out a battering and he presses it.
I'll go back over here and then
I'm
delete
unarmed.
that
Wouldn't you
book.
rather beat me the old-fashioned way? One more romp for old
The hand will
times.
reappear.
Batman then takes off the utility belt and the cape.
And then I've got to figure out where I'm going to put the hand. Because the belt
Jack
and
wipes the blood from
mask
his nose.
and
He says,
hair.
"That's
Ooh.
more like it." The two men punch and they kick at each
What
other.
layer
Every
should I
strike hitting
put
harder than the
the
last.
book on? Unless I
And
just
as
do a
Jack
whole new
headbutts
layer for
Batman,
the book
he
itself
grabs
and
his
just
utility belt,
call it
wraps
book.
around Batman's
Like
neck.
this.
He then
Book.
twists and squeezes the belt
Ha.
until Batman's struggle begins to fade and his body falls to the ground. He sits down looking at Batman's body and he says that he thought of this moment for decades.
Oh,
Wondering
just have
what he would
another
do
idea
to himself,
actually.
broken and vulnerable. Oh God, what have I done? Later, as the lightning strikes over Arkham,
Put the book underneath and the chain could be on that layer
as
too.
the officers help set him down, one mentions that they'll finally get to see who this guy is. But Jack shouts, "No, we
It has
agreed
to be under
keep
the
his
hand,
secret." Those were
so
the terms.
where's the hand?
Just as he says that, the sky lights up and the Hatter tells Neo Joker
Like
that her
that.
patience is paid off. She
And
is
then
the
I
most
put the
dangerous
book
villain in
in.
the history of Gotham. Ready when she is. Neo smiles, telling him to hit it, and a blast of cold air hits the city, freezing everything.
And then on top.
Has been aimed at.
Oh,
Everyone
black.
scrambles to get into the air, and as Jim looks out of his helicopter, he sees on the building two words:
I'm gonna cheat.
Send Joker. A short while later, over in Freeze's lab, Barbara shouts, stating that the technology was pioneered in the final days
Ah,
of
it
the
worked.
Third
Yay.
Reich. Is that giant cannon in the middle of Gotham Harbor his? Does that belong to Mr. Freeze? Freeze continues his work, telling her that she must be the lab assistant that was with Mr. Wayne. And Barbara quickly remembers that she's still in her Batgirl costume. Freeze tells her that he's already aware of Mr. Wayne.
Nice.
Barbara then asks, how did he know? And Freeze says that when Bruce lost a lot of blood, the butler insisted that the Freeze tech be transferred to Mr. Wayne. Barbara then asks, why would he help the Waynes? And Freeze explains that it started a long time ago when I met Mr. Wayne as a boy back in World War II. Thomas helped with the Allies in creating a secret program to utilize valuable Nazi assets, high-ranking prisoners like my father, Baron von Freeze. Thomas convinced the Allies to let my father continue his work so long as it was for medicine.
Okay, we'll make
However,
a
the
grey
facility
layer.
for my father was ultimately turned into
Now
a
the chain's gonna be
facility,
underneath the
and thus
hand,
my father
like a dog.
You now have what you want. It's time for you to leave. And Barbara asks, so you're not coming to help us? And Freeze tells her that his father built the cannon. He knows nothing about it. Now leave me and my wife in peace. Back with Jack Napier, he takes more pills and Harley shouts that he's taking way too many. He swallows the pills, yelling that he can't stop. If he stops, the Joker comes back. The pathetic Hot Topic shoplifter is in over her head. Harley grabs him, shouting, she is not pathetic. She is a person, a flesh and blood woman who loved you and wanted to give you everything. Jack pulls away, grabbing one of his coats, telling her that she is an oversight. I can handle her. And Harley tells him that he had a good run, but he's in way over his head. Maybe it's time to hand this over to someone with a little more experience in fighting dozens of super criminals. Jack leaves, asking her, how can you seriously be suggesting that?
I've already got that WhatsApp. I've had it for years.
He gets ready to head
I just
over
haven't
to
got it on the PC.
All the while, the officers begin yelling and shouting, asking what they're supposed to do. Jim says that the White House has declared a state of emergency, and Jack yells that they don't need help. This is a Gotham City problem, and we can handle it ourselves. He turns back to the crowd, telling them, all we have to do is wait for the military to get here.
Here, and then do the chain, and then that will be on top.
Begins to go white, and the maniacal laughter of the Joker can be heard as he begins to shout,
And that won't be underneath.
and we'll give the Joker exactly what he wants. And there you have it. The Joker's back. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Comic Storian. Sometimes
funny.
it just goes a little crazy.
He's weak as well, too much into it.
On Discord and on Twitter. Jim, you can have me doing my Joker voice, calling out call to action, asking you to go places.
El Purpler. Hands. And put on top. The
Batman White Knight is a take on the Batman mythos. And in this universe, Joker actually became sane thanks to the help of some certain pills. And while those pills are now
Let's
wearing
put
off,
that tiny
Batman
little
has been
loop
captured and brought into Arkham Asylum.
there.
And we
Let's
last
put
left
all
off with the Batman White Knight storyline. Today, we need to figure out a way to stop
The
Neo
chain
Joker. And if
can now
anything that I just
be
said to you makes no sense at all, Just go check out the playlist because I can't explain it any more than that. Enjoy Batman White Knight issue 7.
Oh god, this is
In our
getting
last video, we
confusing.
watched as
Right.
Jack Napier did something that the Joker could never do. Take down Batman. But while the
That's
city
the
was
book.
on the hunt for Batman, Neo Joker found an old freeze cannon developed by Freeze's father and used it to cover Gotham in ice. Neo then said that the only way to stop her was to release Joker back into the world. And just when Jack started to go over the plans of how he was going to capture her, the Joker returned. As the entire GCPD listened to Jack let out a mad cackle. As he becomes the Joker, everyone grabs their guns. They point them directly at him. Harley grabs a hold of him, shouting, "Oh God, this can't be happening!" And after a few more laughs, Jack begins to cough, and the color of his skin returns to normal as he says that he is okay. He's got him under control.
Some of the
Harley
quick
then
thing,
yells,
which
"What the
layer would
hell
be
was
best to
that?"
put that
Jack
chain
tells
on?
him that the medication
Because I want it to be
was
underneath the loop
He didn't
here.
tell anyone because he was trying to fight, but it's getting worse. Jim asks, "How long can he hold it back?" And Jack tells him, "Long enough to stall Neo Joker. No matter what, by the end of the day, Neo Joker will be defeated by either me or the Joker." While the GTO forces move out, Dick and Barbara visit Bruce Wayne in his cell. And Barbara asks, how long is he going
Doing
to sit
some,
there? They all know
just
that he can
testing
break
something
out
out. I'm not
at
going to
any
leave
time.
that.
He sits on his cot, stating, "She begged me to let it go."
And then I'd go on
Like the
to
two of us would need each other. Barbara asks, "Who are you talking about?"
this layer,
Harley.
and
I
then pick
figured I was
just a
going on.
pretty
Joker will
green.
come for me. Neo Joker is too
Ah,
powerful.
right,
Soon.
okay, so that one there, that needs to be on the layer, but
Which
won't cover up legs. This won't
She's
matter.
known him for years. She saw the Joker being buried by that same man who was threatening to take him from her. So she indulged his darker side. She became evil Harley Quinn in hopes of the Joker returning, and then she freed him. Jack says, "You can't do this." Neo yells, "Let him out! Because the only one who could stop me from destroying Gotham is not you, Jack." Jack remains quiet and he finally tells Neo, "You win. I'll bring you the Joker." He turns and Neo asks, "Where are you going?" And Jack spins back
That's
around
not going
as the
over it,
Joker
then.
shouting, "You will not question me. You want me back? Let me do it my way." Once Jack steps out of the small cottage, Harley follows him and Jack says, "I turned this city upside down, exposed the corruption and ended vigilantes. All I wanted was for people to see the truth. That Gotham's
Just
problems
should be able to
aren't
loop it then.
special. They don't need a lawbreaker like Batman. I followed the rules and it still didn't work. What's worse is all of
And
this.
then I go back over here to the chain,
Am I speaking with Jack?
and
Jack's eyes telling
then
me
it
that
won't
should've
work because I'm
Harley
using some
turns to him and asks
color.
me, "Are you kidding? You used every criminal to scare them
purple
into
layer.
giving power. You weren't
Go
playing
underneath.
fair
Oh,
from the
no, I
beginning,
can't.
and now's not the time
That,
to
do
stop.
that.
Neo
It doesn't really
Joker
matter.
is going to defeat us. You just gotta do it.
Oh, what
That
layer
might
do I
be
need to
something
do
the
this
Joker would
on?
never do. Work with
Nobody
someone
kill
that she would
me.
never expect. Later, in Batman's cell, Jack opens it up and he tells him,
It's not going to do
"I
it,
need
is
your
it?
help." Batman stands
It's
up
up to
telling
that
him,
there.
"I'm going to take a wild guess and say that it was Harley who told you to come here. You're sharp, but you're still unseeing all of the angles." Jack asks him, "So you'll help me?"
I'm
And
just going to
Batman
do
tells him,
this.
"I will always help Gotham. But before I do that, we have to agree on something. After all of this, I want a
And
full confession.
figure it out.
How you attacked the financial district. All of this happening because of you, and ultimately your responsibility in the creation of the Neo Joker. Explain to everyone how you exploited the legal system
So
and
that
the lies. Tell
there,
everyone
it's
that
got
regardless of
there,
who
and then
you
we'll
try
go
to be,
there,
deep
and we
down,
got rid of
you will
this
always
like
be a
there.
always the Joker." And Jack yells, "I'm Jack Napier, not the Joker. I turned Gotham into a better place." And Batman tells him, "But you broke the law." And Jack shouts, "So did you! You might think that you're better than the Joker, but you'll never be better than Jack Napier." Jack then uncuffs Batman as Batman leaves. Jack jumps up behind him, stating that, "I will give you the confession only if I take the entire rap." Harley goes free. Batman sits down at the Batmobile and tells him, "Your confession for Harley's freedom. Only if you tell me what happened to Robin. What happened to Jason Todd?" Batman hits the gas with Jack sitting next to him and he tells him, "I want to remember, but the Joker is holding it over me because it gives him power." Batman waits for a moment and then he tells him, "You better make him see it. Close your eyes and concentrate. He tortured Jason because the Joker wanted something." Jack closes his eyes and begins to think back and he slowly begins to remember. Jack says the Joker was jealous of Jason. The Joker wanted to know who Batman was. He wanted to know his true identity. Just before killing him, Jason finally broke. He said, "I wish I'd never met Bruce Wayne." And then the Joker let him go. Batman stares at Jack and he asks, "He's alive? Why wouldn't Jason return to me then?" And Jack tells him because he was broken. Not only by the Joker, but by Batman for making him Robin in the first place. The Joker let him free so that the game could go on. Batman would suffer more thinking that Jason was dead than knowing the truth. Batman then asks if the Joker knew that I was Wayne. Why didn't you say anything? And Jack stops him. Oh, I knew that you were Bruce Wayne. I've known for months. Ever since I uncovered the Batman Devastation Fund, I learned that it wasn't paid for by taxpayers. It all came from companies that Bruce Wayne owned. Bruce stares for a moment, and then he goes back to driving, and Jack says, I know everything. There's a lot more to the Waynes than you think, Bruce. A short while later at Freeze's lab, Freeze leaves Nora.
Kind of what I'm going for.
Says that she survived. Freeze says, thank God, yes. I won't wake her yet. What am I supposed to do? Tell her how my father's evil haunts her?
It's not him.
Shut up. Even to this day with that cannon, Bruce tells him that she won't see it because he's going to help them fix it. So Freeze grabs a chair, sitting down, stating, I already told the woman in red hair that there's nothing I can do. The only thing I can offer you is knowledge about the tunnels. Thomas constructed those tunnels to help Gotham move supplies and medical equipment.
And we're done. See you later, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow night. We can.
Bruce then says,
My son will be coming home soon, but I might also be getting a call from the school to see he needs picking up because I did take him up to school today because he was yesterday. Everybody knows he wasn't that correct. He wasn't that well, but he seems a lot better today. But I might get a call to go and pick him up. But he might just walk home on his own because he's a brave lad. He doesn't often ask for help. I wish he would, but he doesn't often.
Jack smiles and says, Batman and me working together. That's the last thing that she'd expect. As Jack laughs, he begins to turn into the Joker, and Bruce quickly charges at him and places him into a headlock. Jack begins to cough at being choked, and Harley runs up to him, telling him that he needs to come back. Just breathe! His skin slowly begins to turn back to normal, and he coughs, telling him, I got it. He's under control. It's okay. As everyone looks around, every officer has their gun pointed at Jack again, and Batman tells him, Jack, rise with me. As everyone starts to head to their cars, Batman reaches into his pocket, taking out the note that Alfred left for him before passing. Barbara asks what it is, and Batman says that it's something that Alfred left by his bed before he went. Dick says, what's on it? Batman tells him that he's too afraid to read it. These are Alfred's last words. He's not ready to see them. Barbara asks if he's going to be okay, and Batman says that he'll never be okay. His hardest struggle has been to not let all of this affect everyone else. One day, he's going to...
Probably shouldn't have done that, but oh well, done it now.
Something that tries to protect them. Something that they can look back on and draw strength from the darkness. Something that will make up for his mistakes. Something about why he still fights as Batman. Something about fighting for them, because he wanted to leave them a safer Gotham. A Gotham that they can be proud of. So that one day, they can take off these masks.
There's not much you need to watch.
Bruce Wayne. Dick tells him that it's a bit
it's just basically getting to here.
Yeah. He hugs the two of them back, stating that while he was in Arkham, he had a lot of time to think about what's really important. So Jim tells everyone.
No, I'm going to go back in on that.
As Jim says,
spin it out a bit. Be real.
But Batman stops and tells him, "Don't be. You did the right thing. Things have gone too far, but it won't be for much longer. After tonight, I'm taking off the mask and telling Gotham the truth about Batman." With that, everyone gets into their assigned Batmobiles, and they race down the highway towards the Freeze cannon. Jim tells everyone over the intercoms that their primary objective is to retake the cannon. Capturing Neo Joker is secondary. There are too many people counting on them to restore the city back to normal, so everyone needs to focus on that. And in Bruce's car, Jack asks if he thinks it's going to work. As Bruce tells him that they have no choice, the device is the only thing protecting Neo, so he'll be watching. He's going to have to go after her, and once they get inside, he won't want to talk to Jack. He's going to have to pretend to be the Joker. But Jack tells him, there's one problem with that. And the Joker shouts, I won't be protected. And there you have it. The Joker is here to play. So, what do you think of White Knight so far? Because the inevitable conclusion is coming right real soon. Betty, speak, sentences, no, work, not enough coffee. Anyway, guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at ComicStorian to hear all the inconsistent sentences I can make up over there. And you can also get single tube reviews of my comic books as I read them. And if you write something, go ahead and tweet it to me and I'll retweet it. It's a whole thing we have going on over there, and I'd love to have you join us. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel to get part 8 when we release it.
Now it's stuck in my head. Again, I like the paper version better. Because this just takes so much time.
It was really overwhelming. It's literally how the goosebumps.
No one cares what you stupid
Batman
pigs.
White Knight is an alternate take on our hero Batman. In this universe, Joker has become Jack Napier by becoming sane, and he's used his knowledge of law to turn Gotham City against Batman. He's even turned Batgirl and Nightwing against him. There's not much more I can say about this series simply because we are on Chapter 8. If you want to watch all of them, the playlist is down below to give you 1 through 7.
Right, so now I'll
You
get
can watch
rid of
the
that
entire
one
series.
quickly.
But at this point, if you've jumped on
And I'll
Chapter
go
8,
back
you
over the
kind of
eyes
probably
and
know what's
the
happening in Batman.
bits of the face, so then they'll be on top,
To one of my favorite alternate takes
I
on
hope,
Batman.
of the mask. I hope. And then I can do the hair on top of that.
Set out to help Batman
Maybe.
finally put an end to
Oh, yes,
Neo's
I can.
Joker.
Yes, I can.
Reverse the damage that she
Yes, I
caused.
can. I can use a texture layer
Using a series
straight
of
away because I want to keep
by
these
Thomas Wayne
stringy sort of
Neo,
hairy lines
moved
here.
into position to launch their assault. However, while Jack rode with Batman, the pills that he was taking started to lose their effect. Suddenly, Batman finds himself riding with the Joker himself. As Batman silently stares, the mad cackling of the Joker fills the Batmobile. And the Joker shouts, "I was always wondering what it's like in here. Very dark and gloomy, very Batman. Could use an air freshener, though. Sandalwood, perhaps." Batman shouts that he needs to speak to Napier. And Joker tells him, "I'm sorry, but with what we're up against, we're better off with me. Trust me on that." Batman asks, "Trust?" And the Joker says, "Relax, Batsy. We're on the same side. Batman wants to save Gotham, and Joker wants to show the cosplayer how to swallow her teeth." As Joker goes on, Batman crashes into Bane, and the rest of the GTO begin to engage with the other villains still under Neo's control. Gordon tells everyone to remember, there's a fight. These walls are the only thing separating them from Gotham Bay. Just get to the cannon. Up on the cannon, Neo and Hatter watch, and Hatter yells that they've got to keep them from the cannon if they take control. And Neo shouts, "She knows. There's like a million things going on." Over in Duke's car, Harley hangs out smacking Croc with her mallet, setting Harvey up to crash into her. But once the truck stops moving, Croc picks up the truck and shakes him out onto the ground. Duke calls out to Harvey and throws him a gun.
That's stupid, but I want a
just in time
darker
for
black.
both of them to fire into Croc's stomach. Batgirl tries to pull ahead, but a rocket flies by, blasting right into the windshield, blinding Batgirl. Montoya swerves after knocking rockets out of the way, and Batgirl yells that she can see the cannon now, delivering the package now. She steps on the gas and hits the launch button, rocketing herself to the highest point of the cannon. As the Batmobile crashes into it, Batgirl crawls out and is quickly grabbed by Ivy. Neo tells her that she should have brought backup, and Batgirl manages to say, "I did." Just then, Ivy is hit in the back with a cold blast, and Freeze stands up telling them, "I'm sorry, but I'm all out of ice bombs." Freeze continues to fire at Neo, forcing her to retreat, and once it's clear, Batgirl asks if he can do it. He looks over the controls and says the cryo-manifolds seem consistent with his father's earlier designs, indicating where the formula might conjoin. Batgirl says, "Huh?" And Freeze tells her, "Yes, I'm good." Down below, Neo begins to make her escape, and as Batman speeds up, Joker calls out to her, "You wanted the Joker! You're gonna get me, and all the bruises that come with it." Joker jumps off the Batmobile, punching Neo, knocking both the Hatter control hat and Clayface's brain onto the ground. As the control device breaks, Clayface's hand starts to leave all of the villains and begin to form back up into his original form. He begins to tower over everyone, and he points at the Joker, shouting, "You!" And Joker says, "Hey, Clay, so what exactly do you remember?" Clayface starts to charge at the Joker, and Batman yells, "He's coming straight for Joker." And Joker yells, "No crap! World's greatest detective, huh?" Batman throws the keys to the Batmobile to Joker, telling him, "Get out of here now." Joker jumps into the Batmobile, and shortly after, Harley follows. Batman holds onto Clayface as Jack shouts, "I'm back in control of my body. The Joker is suppressed. I'm not sure for how long. This might be our last chance. There's something I need to say. You were right. Only you knew the Joker's biggest secret. That buried inside of him was a good man. Thank you for giving me the chance to learn who I really was, and for giving me the chance to fall in love with you all over again." But before Jack can pull away, Clayface slams down onto the ground, causing Jack to swerve off course. Harley looks ahead at the giant set of steel doors that are closing and yells, "We won't make it!" And Neo and Hatter speed by on rockets, and Neo says, "No, but this will. There's room for one more. I really loved you, but I want you to live." After a moment of hesitation, Harley says that she's right.
Yeah, last night's fight, it was definitely a big one. Gonna continue on it tonight.
Who deserves it? I love you.
Last night was
As Neo inches ahead of
divinely met. Well, I finally saw what was it called? Scorpion. We finally saw Electro. We finally saw oh god, who did we see? Rhino. Negative Man's escaped from the raft again. And who would I have? So we've got Vulture, Electro, Rhino, Negative. Six of them all together. I can't think of the other one is. Oh, you have to check it out. See what who it was. Yeah, they all broke out yesterday. And the city is absolutely heaving with a load of crime. So tonight, guys, I'm going to be going back in, taking some more crime down, but they keep taking me down first.
The two ride along the walls and they find a sewer to escape. And just as they fly into the air, Harley grabs onto Neo's backpack. The two fall into a nearby building as Harley begins to punch and she shouts, "He's dead because of you!" Neo struggles, yelling, "I was trying to save him from those pills. They were turning him into something that he wasn't." Harley then pulls one of Neo Joker's knives from her back and says, "He was always Jack Napier!" And she stabs Neo in the chest. Harley then picks Neo up and Neo says,
"Ooh, I've just realized I did something."
You don't want to admit that you fell in love with an abusive, loveless serial killer. Harley brings the knife up, yelling, "No! I loved him in spite of all of that!" And just before Harley can stab again, he comes over the radio. He says he's not sure if he can hear him, but Jack's alive.
I like
A short
it.
while later, back over at the pier, Jack tells Batman, "You should have let me drown. I would have died a hero." And Batman says, "I would never let that happen." Jack asks, "What? Not letting you die or not letting you be a hero?" And Batman tells him, "Pick."
There's the original image.
Later, Harley pulls him with Neo.
This is where I'm going to be trying to get to.
Harley then runs over to hug Jack, and Jack tosses the keys to the Batmobile back to Batman, telling him, "A deal's a deal. Here's a copy of my confession."
Shave the way that feels right.
No, because I've got a big ass beard. I'm never shaving it.
Take me back to art. But I do have a request.
Believe it or not, I used to have quite shaven face. And it was, I used to have Tony Stark beard at one point. I've had YMCA mustache. God, quite a few
I have
different
one
beards.
last request. Marry me and Harley before we
I like my facial
A
hair.
while later, suddenly in the set, a priest comes into the cell and says, "To you, Harley Quinzel, take Jack Neal."
And before I went bald.
Harley says, "I do." And as the priest asks,
And before I went bald, I actually was, I had a mohawk. Why,
he falls to
you know, a
the ground
mullet,
as
but
the
it was like a Mohican with a mullet type thing. I got a picture up there. Spikes. I used to love my spikes. Proper fucking punk I was.
The
Proper
while the
swearing.
Joker's laugh echoes through the halls of Arkham. Neo listens, and she smiles. Later, as Batgirl and Nightwing wait in a building, Batman tells them, "Thank you for coming.
I'm hoping, possibly,
Nightwing tells them, "It's okay."
might be able to delete some of the original image. Get rid of some of that once I've finished with it, and then leave the wings design in there, so I don't have to redo it.
He is happy knowing that he will one day read this,
And then once I go, I don't know where the worst is gone. And then when I do take it away, you'll see it underneath, but you'll have the shading there as well. Then again, I kind of like that, so I may not.
With that, the next day came, and Gotham began to fix itself and return to normal. The man Jack Napier confessed that he manipulated the justice system to free himself, and that he was the one who originally controlled the villains, causing them to attack. Harley worked with Duke to restore Backport and give many in the area jobs, but as Harley returned to her apartment that night, she sits on her balcony, stating that she is probably the only person that can hear him sneaking up. Batman jumps down and says, "I know about the pills. You're the one who created them, and you knew that if you provoked me enough, I would force the Joker to ingest them. You're the one who recorded it. You pitted Gotham against me, and then you planted the seeds for Napier's reform. This whole time, everyone thought Jack was the White Knight, but it was all you." Harley tells him, "You're good. Jack didn't even figure it out." And Batman asks, "Who do you think told me?" Harley thinks and then asks, "Jack knew, why didn't he say anything?" Batman asks, "Why did you do it?" "It wasn't because of romance. There was another reason." Harley leans back and says the Joker might have been responsible for terrorizing Gotham, but Batman wasn't exactly making it any better. Someone needed to break the stalemate before the two of them tore this city apart. No one else knew them like she did. She was betting on Jack having a lot to show.
Right.
She was right. Harley turns to leave, but before going, Batman says, if you mentioned something about his old cell, about discovering Joker in that cell, what did he mean? Harley waves her hand and says, I'm not sure. And then Batman asks, do you really think Napier's gone? Harley looks back and smiles.
Got to a level now where I think
Later at the GCPD,
probably can
Gordon
start
shut
putting
the door
detail
to his
in there.
office, stating that he heard that he and Freeze had been working on a serum to revive Nora, and they finally managed to bring her back.
Then again, what am I saying? I can put a layer on the wings or below the wings,
Gordon asks, was it someone
and then
close? And
put the
Batman
shading
tells him,
and
it was
such.
my best friend. Gordon sits down and tells him that he's sorry.
So using one of these tools.
On the table, and he says, I've learned a lot over the last year. I've enjoyed hurting criminals.
And then
I
doing-
hate Batman
Yeah, I
because
wonder
I
if I could
could
make
be
a
as
shape
cool
like
as I
this.
wanted. But sometimes I wonder why I wear the mask. Gordon tells him, Gotham
I
needs
can, but I can't move
You may
that
have gone
shape.
off the rails a bit, but we both know you did some good here. Napier
It's
did
going
us
to
a
take me
favor.
long. They're
We
all
now
nice
know the
thick
flaws
lines.
in
I'll be able to
your
copy the thick
fix.
lines.
Given time, Gotham will also learn to trust Batman again. Batman reaches for his mask, removing it, telling him, no, we need to tell him who Batman is. The only way anyone will trust me. But most importantly, it's the only way that you'll trust me, Jim. And there you have it, the ending to Batman White Knight. I personally really enjoyed this entire series, and I am really hoping that we get a sequel to this. Something that explains maybe the Red Hood better. Dan and I were talking about this on our Comic Story and Weekly podcast that we
I want to
on
do the
Twitch
hair, but
every
how am I going to
Sunday
do that?
at about
What
2 p.m.
layer?
Eastern. You
Make
can also
another
find
layer?
that podcast on Patreon for
On
only
top?
the $1 tier every
It's on-
Monday. But we were talking on our podcast about this, and
The
we were talking,
mask,
the
man.
sequel should be called Red Knight. Sean Gordon Murphy, if you're watching this, we're calling it Red Knight. Call it Red Knight, make it about Jason Todd. It'll make me very happy. Don't forget, you can follow us over on Twitch, twitch.tv/EligibleMonster, where we do our podcast every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And you can go join us on Patreon, where we give you early access to a lot of our videos, behind-the-scenes footage, and
Go over here.
the said podcast I just said every Monday. Yeah. I love you all. Subscribe. Like. Why are we still on me? Should we cut away? These are the Patreons. I maybe have taken those sanity pills.
That'll work. That'll work. Thickness level, bring it down. Right down. Still no down. I'll get rid of that. Hang on.
Remember Batman? Yeah.
Batman Earth
He's a
1.
superhero, right? Well, he wasn't always. You know, back in the beginning, he had to figure out how to become a superhero. He had to make mistakes because, in the end, Batman is only human. Now, keep in mind, this is in a different continuity. This is not in the main storyline. It's a universe known as Earth 1. And if you enjoy this version of Batman and you want to see the Superman version, the Teen Titans version, the Wonder Woman version, we can bring you those. This is our first attempt at an Earth 1 book. So let me know what you guys think. Enjoy the video, and I'll see you at the end. Along the Gotham rooftops, a man runs, trying to get away from a dark shadow that's chasing him. Batman stands and grabs his grappling hook, and he takes aim, and then he fires. But instead of launching the anchor, the spool breaks and entangles, making the tool useless. The man continues to try and escape, jumping off another roof, and Bruce quickly chases after him. Except when Bruce leaps, he falls short, and he tumbles all the way to the ground. He lays on a pile of garbage, and he quietly says, "Ow," and he hears another call for help. He gets up to see a pair of robbers fleeing from a restaurant, but rather than being helpful, he turns and he walks away. When
That was
Bruce turns
convenient.
the corner to an alleyway, a drifter looks up at him and tells them, "Please, don't hurt me. I was just trying to keep warm." He looks at the woman and then he hands her some money and then he drives off
Oh, you
without
turd.
saying a word. What
Oh,
led
I hate
Bruce to
you.
becoming the Caped Crusader, failing horribly on his first night out. Long ago at the Wayne Mansion, Alfred Pennyworth visited Thomas Wayne during his campaign at becoming the mayor of Gotham. As Alfred knocks on the wooden doors, a butler opens up and says that they've been expecting him. And seconds later, Thomas himself runs up telling him that he can't believe he's actually here. Thomas hands Alfred's bags to the butler. And Alfred looks around telling him that it looks like the medical tech business is really paying for itself, huh? Thomas laughs, telling him actually it was Martha's great-grandfather who built this place. The two walk into the main room while everyone celebrates, and Alfred says that he's read up on the opposing candidate. He's a real questionable character, but it looks like he doesn't have a chance. Thomas tells them the party is a little premature. The election isn't for a few more days, and that's when Martha comes in telling them that they just need to enjoy the moment while they can. Thomas then tells Alfred that he would like to introduce his campaign manager and his wife. Alfred stops himself, telling him that he's an advocate for the rights of the mentally ill. She's just as famous as Thomas Wayne. Martha shakes Alfred's hand, saying that after all of these years, she gets to meet the man who saved her husband's life. And Alfred says, well, he was also the one who helped him walk again. Martha then says that he needs to meet their son, Bruce, and she shouts across the room for her boy to come over. As Martha goes off looking, Alfred tells Thomas that he knows why he was called here. With all of the death threats, he needed someone that he could trust because there could be someone close to making them. Thomas says once he's elected, he'll get to work, but for tonight, he just wants to be a father. Bruce then runs over shouting, come on, we have to hurry or we're going to miss the movie. Alfred tells Thomas to hang on. He shouldn't go out like this. Let him come along and be the bodyguard. But Thomas stops him and tells him that they go out every week as a family and that will not change. All he wants is to make sure that Bruce grows up to have a normal life. Alfred throws his arms out telling him that this is nowhere near normal. This mansion, butlers and cooks, being a Wayne is not normal. Life's ugly outside of this place. Thomas looks at Alfred and he says, I know how ugly life can be, but everything we did in the desert, I'm never going to forget that. But I have to take my leave. My family's waiting on me right now, Alfred. A short while later, down at the theater, Bruce shouts that they're going to sit in the first row, but just as they take their seats, the lights go out. One of the ushers steps in, shining his light, telling them that he's sorry, but it looks like the power to the entire theater was cut. If everyone can make their way to the front exit, please. Bruce jumps up from his chair, shouting, come on, there's another theater a few blocks away. If we hurry, we can make it. And then he runs for the back exit. As he runs into the alley, he bumps into a hooded man who tells him to watch where he's going. Bruce stops and he turns back, telling him that he doesn't have to do anything. His parents are the richest people in Gotham. The hooded man stands there for a moment and he says, you're the Wayne kid. A few seconds later, Thomas and Martha come out looking for their son. And the hooded man grabs Bruce and he pulls out a gun. Thomas tells the man to wait. The man shouts that he wants his wallet and jewelry now. But before Thomas can even reach for his wallet, the man lunges, grabbing Martha's necklace. And when Thomas tries to stop him, there were two shots. The robber turns and he runs off, and all Bruce can do is stare at the lifeless bodies of his
Why am I
parents.
putting the hair
Later,
coming out of my
back in the
mouth?
mansion, police begin putting the reports together. As Alfred tells them that he knows what the arrest made. He wants a list of suspects and he wants to help. And one of the officers says that he knows about his background with the Royal Marines and the security firm that he worked for in Seoul. If this is an investigation, the police will be handled. The woman next to the officer then says that there is something else that they need to talk about, and that's the fact that the Waynes have named him the child's legal guardian in case something was to ever happen. Alfred's stunned. He stares for a moment and he says, wait, I'm not a parent. There has to be someone else who can watch him. What happens if I say no? The woman says actually Thomas and Martha were the last of their respective families. And if he says no, Bruce will go into child services and then into foster care. Later, as the police leave, Alfred pulls up a chair to the table that Bruce is sitting at. And he says that he understands what's going on, but he has to eat. Bruce looks up and he stares and he asks, who the hell are you? And Alfred sighs, telling him, I'm your new butler. Back in the current times, Bruce walks into the house and Alfred asks, is this really my life now? Bruce pulls back the mask, stating that others may have given up, but he won't. Over at the Gotham PD, Detective Jim Gordon sits at his desk when he is called into the captain's office. Jim, a man who understands what Gotham is really like, shuffles into the office asking what is it. The captain says that he would like to introduce him to his new partner, Harvey Bullock. Harvey smiles, stating that he's pretty sure that they all know who he is. Hosted Hollywood Detective all 5 seasons. Jim stares at Harvey and he tells him that he doesn't watch much TV. And Harvey tells him, that's fine. I'll get you a copy of it on Blu-ray. As the two walk off, Jim asks who in their right mind transfers to Gotham. And Harvey throws his arm around Jim, telling him that he needed a challenge. He needed to work on one particular case, the murder of the Waynes. Back with Bruce, he stares at a suit of armor displaying a bat signal. Alfred walks in asking, why a bat? All because of that day that we opened up the mausoleum and they scared you? Well, the people you're hunting don't get scared. Bruce looks back and he tells him, everyone gets scared, Alfred. And Alfred looks at him, I've taught you how to protect yourself, and even more, now it's time for me to leave. I didn't teach you how to fight so that you can go on some insane crusade. Bruce shouts, I'm not crazy. The mayor had both of my parents killed because my father would have taken the polls. Alfred angrily tells him that he bloody knows what happened. And Bruce then asks, what do you know about the man that I was chasing? Jacob Weaver. The man you were chasing tonight used to be a cop. He was one of the first ones in the scene on the night of the murder. He then quit the force and started to work for the mayor a week after. Jacob has something. the lighter that he gave his father for Christmas before he died. Alfred stands for a moment and then he takes his cane, hitting the broken
I'm gonna put
grappling
on
hook,
another
telling him,
layer.
fine, but we need guns. And Bruce quickly tells him, no guns. Alfred goes on telling him, these kind of people you're looking for are corrupt. Gadgets are not going to scare them or work. And Bruce looks off and says, maybe I'll find someone who can make them work. Later, the Wayne Medical Group building, he finds someone who can help, Mr. Lucius Fox. Bruce tells Lucius that he understands that he is the lead designer on the neuroprosthetics processor, and he was hoping that he could get some help on something else. Bruce hands over the broken grappling hook, telling him that he wants to keep this between them. Lucius tells him that he works in the medical technology, and yes, he can fix this. Also, there aren't any mountains in Gotham for you to climb, Mr. Wayne. Why do you need a grappling hook? Bruce takes out his umbrella and he walks out, telling him, sure there are. The next day out on the streets, Jim and Harvey make their way to the security detail for the mayor.
That's not doing what I wanted to do.
Eating another man on the sidewalk. Harvey tells Jim to stop the car, but Jim tells him it's not their business. Besides, they're already late. As the light turns red, Harvey jumps out of the car and he runs to the larger man, telling him that he would like him to put his hands into the air. The man turns back swinging and Harvey ducks the hit and then lands a punch in the man's gut. Harvey calls to Jim, telling him to bring the cuffs over, and Jim runs over telling Harvey to let the man go. Harvey asks, what, is this guy an informant or something? And Jim turns to the man telling him, hey, I'm sorry, Axe, this guy's new. Axe fixes his jacket and says, yeah, well, you better teach the new guy quick before any accidents happen. That punk you just let go owed me some money, and now you owe me some money, Gordon. As Axe walks off, Harvey asks, what the hell was that? And Jim shouts for him to get back in the damn car. This place has rules we follow. And once you learn that, you'll head back to Los Angeles, so don't judge me. Later that night, Bruce sits in the back of his car, looking at the new and improved grappling hook stick.
The G512 mechanical keyboard, available with 3 distinct mechanical switches.
Stating that he actually fixed it. Alfred says that he needs to be careful. Everyone is going to want a piece of Bruce Wayne, as he hasn't been a public figure in a long time. As Alfred pulls up to the mayor's party, Oswald tells Bruce that it was a pleasure to meet him. Mayor Oswald Cobblepot at your service. Inside, Jim and Harvey keep watch while Harvey enjoys the other views of the party when Jim spots him. Harvey notices Jim looking up and he says, wow, Bruce Wayne is really here. Harvey puts on a smile stating, it's showtime. And he makes his way through the crowds to Bruce, telling him his name. And he says that he's working on his parents' case and would love to talk to him about it. Bruce looks at him and he says, you're the police officer from the TV. And Harvey's smile grows bigger. Yes, Hollywood detectives, no crime is unsolvable. Bruce tells him, right, that show just got canceled, and he walks off. As Bruce leaves, Harvey, under his breath, simply says, jerk. However, for Bruce, he isn't here to enjoy the party. He's here looking for Jacob Weaver, and he spots him leaving for the roof. Once on the roof, Jacob lights up his cigarette with Thomas's lighter, and that's when Batman quickly slams him into a wall, grabbing the lighter, asking, where did you get this? Before Jacob can answer, Batman is struck in the back of the head with a brick, and Jacob laughs. I'm not the only one up here for a smoke. As the men surround Bruce, one radios in that they have some trouble on the roof. Some guy in a bat costume. Batman tries to fight off the attacks as Jim and the other officers make their way up there, and Bruce lunges, hitting the first person that he can, which is Jim Gordon. He scoops up the lighter, and the other officers begin to fire their guns, and one grazes Bruce's head. He tries to catch himself, but as he stumbles over the ledge, he lets go of the lighter in the process. And with no other choice than to test the untested grappling hook, he fires it. The anchor hits into the building, and then he swings himself, crashing through the party. Everyone turns to see what's going on, and then he lands right on top of one of the dinner tables. The officers run back in and yell for this Batman to freeze. And without even saying anything, he throws 2 smoke bombs down and makes a break for the kitchen. Outside, Alfred watches Batman jump through a window, and he runs over to help him into the car. As Bruce's vision is fading, he remembers back to when he was younger, and him and his mother walked by their old house. He looked up at the old rundown home, and he asked, why is the dirt red? Is it blood? And she told him no, it's rust. He just needs to promise her something. Bad things happened in that place, and promise her that he will never go inside. He thought back to the stories of how Martha's mother killed her father and then jumped off the roof, killing herself. And he says that he promises. But then the name Batman rings out as Bruce wakes up in his bed to a news report about a lunatic who crashed at the mayor's party. Not only is Bruce watching, but so is Oswald Cobblepot. And he asks Jacob, why would somebody want you? Jacob nervously says, I don't know, that guy's just crazy. Who knows what he wanted? Oswald tells him, get out. And as he does, he tells another man, I have enough problems with the dead sticking around. Call in the birthday boy to fix this. Back with Bruce, he gets up to grab something to eat when he notices the lighter that Jacob had taken sitting on the countertop. He looks at it and Alfred walks in telling him that could have gone better. The whole thing was supposed to be done quietly. Now everyone knows that he's out there. Bruce holds up the lighter and he asks, how did he get this? And Alfred says that he dropped it in the alley, but he needs to stop this. He's not ready for this. Bruce looks at him and he says, yes, Yes, he is. And Alfred slaps him to the ground. Bruce gets up and he tells Alfred, don't do this. And Alfred eggs him on, asking, or what? Show me I'm wrong. Show me that you're not just some entitled brat who isn't even close to ready. Bruce tackles Alfred into a wall, and Alfred elbows, hitting Bruce, telling him, you've never seen war. And then he cracks his cane across his face. Bruce grabs Alfred's arm and he throws him into the grandfather clock. And as he continues to attack him, Alfred dodges, telling him, emotional, sloppy, soft. He then continues to beat on Bruce, shouting, you can't do it. You aren't even willing to sink down to Gotham's level. But just then, Bruce kicks Alfred's prosthetic leg, breaking it at the knee. Alfred slams to the ground and Bruce gets up, getting ready to say he's sorry, but then he stops himself and he says, I will do everything that I have to. I will do it myself. He walks out of the room and Alfred laughs, telling him, bloody hell, maybe you are ready. Meanwhile, back with Jacob, he puts the key into the lock of his apartment and the door swings open on its own. Inside on the table is a cake that reads, happy birthday, Jacob, and a voice telling him, make a wish. Jacob turns around to see a large man standing in the shadows, going on, telling him, but you can't tell anyone though, and he pulls out a knife. Back at Gotham PD, Harvey makes his way down to the cold case room and he tells the workers that he needs to get some files on Thomas and Martha Wayne. The worker says, right, you're not even fully registered yet. Check back in another day. Harvey rubs his head, telling him, oh no, my partner James Gordon is going to yell at me again. The worker stares at him for a moment and then he slides out the sign-up sheet, telling him, just use Jim's name and get it over with. However, as the request is put in, another worker sees the files have been taken, and he calls one of Oswald Cobblepot's assistants, telling him, yeah, someone's snooping around again. Someone named James Gordon. Later over at Jim's house, Gordon gets ready for dinner for him and Barbara when there's a knock at the door. He opens it up, and Harvey lets himself in, telling him that he found out some stuff. Jacob Weaver was one of the first people on the scene of the Wayne's murders, and now he's dead. Jim stares at him, telling him, just get the hell out already. And then the phone rings with Barbara's mother on the other side. He picks it up, and on the other line, Axe tells him, whatever happens to your daughter is up to you. You might want to put those cold case files back where you found them. As Jim looks shouting, you stupid bastard! You checked those out under my name? They have Barbara! Harvey asks who? And Jim shouts, the real Gotham! The people who control this city! The same people who killed my wife! Jim then says, let's go! Look, I can't lose her. Harvey looks at the bat that was knocked over and he picks it up asking, do you know what corner Axe works on? We should go see if he likes baseball. Out on the streets, Axe calls up a couple of passing girls when he's suddenly cracked in the back of the head with a bat. He looks up and he sees Jim and he asks, what's this supposed to be? Good cop, bad cop? And Harvey smiles, telling him, come on!
That's what I've just done.
It's bad cop. Over at Jacob's apartment, Bruce begins
No,
to
I'd
go
get
over
too
the
into
crime
that.
scene when he notices the red
I
dust
just
on
see
the
what that looks
ground.
like.
He looks at it
Yeah,
and he
looks
notices
shit.
that it is rust, the same type of rust from Arkham. He heads over to the old asylum to find it still locked, and then he hears somebody call for help. Inside, Barbara is sitting in a children's room screaming for help, trying to wiggle out of her bindings. The door begins to creak open, and Barbara tries again, falling out of her chair. The birthday boy walks in holding a cake, telling Barbara, make a wish. Shortly after Bruce makes his way in, Jim and Harvey arrive with their lead, Axe. And when they get inside, Jim quickly notices someone behind him, and he sees Batman. He points his gun at him, shouting, where's my daughter? And Batman quickly snatches the gun out of his hands. He grabs him, telling him, I don't know anything about your daughter. And Jim fights back, telling him, I know my daughter's here. As they go back and forth, there's a scream, stay away from me! And everyone stops to listen. Back in the child's room, Barbara grabs a broken chair leg and swings it, stabbing into the birthday boy's leg, trying to get him away. Jim shouts, asking, where did that come from? And Batman puts his ear to the wall. Jim asks, what the hell are you? And then Batman breaks through the brittle wall into the child's room. Birthday boy turns to him and swings his knife, telling him, you weren't invited. After slamming Batman into the table, Jim runs in grabbing his daughter, and he turns back shooting the birthday boy in the shoulder. However, with his large frame, he reaches out grabbing Jim by the wrist, and he begins to crush it. He gets back up, jumping on birthday boy, and he shouts for everyone to run. As birthday boy tries to ram Batman into the wall, it gives way and the two fall to the lower level. Across the hallway, Harvey sees the scuffle, and he shouts for Batman to get out of the way so that he can take a shot. Batman doesn't listen, and he kicks the knife out of the birthday boy's hand, sticking it into the wall. He then tries punching the birthday boy, but because of his muscle, it hits it ineffective. Harvey then jumps at the birthday boy. However, he grabs Harvey and throws him into the floor, causing him to fall. As Harvey gets back up, he notices something, and then he lights up his lighter, and he stares at the horrible thing that is before him. Back upstairs, the struggles between Batman and the birthday boy go on. Batman uses his cape to strangle and knock the birthday boy out, and Batman makes his way down to help Harvey out of the hole. As the two get up, Harvey winces and says that there were so many bodies. What did I just see down there? Batman looks down and he tells him, evil. Real evil. Later, over at Oswald's office, one of his men shouts they have a problem, but doesn't say anything further. Oswald shouts for him to answer him, tell him what's going on, and the man is thrown into Oswald's office. He stares at Batman, asking, who are you supposed to be? And Batman grits his teeth, telling him, I am vengeance. Oswald starts to laugh, Isn't that a bit dramatic? And Batman responds by punching him in the face. He then grabs him, telling him, "You spent years getting fat and rich off of the people of Gotham. Things should have been different." And then he tosses Oswald over his desk. He grabs his umbrella, telling Batman to stay back, and Batman asks, "And what are you going to do with that?" Then Batman feels a sharp pain, and Oswald takes the needle tip and stabs it into him. As he falls to his knees, he then asks, "Did you come here to kill me? You shouldn't have made so much noise. So who are you underneath that mask?" Batman's mask is pulled back and he shouts, "Bruce Wayne?" Through the blood dripping from Bruce's lips, he says, "You had my parents killed. You took them from me." Oswald grips his umbrella, telling him, "It all makes sense now. Somehow you found out that Jacob cut the power to the theater, but instead of going up front, they went out back." He then stabs back down to the Bruce's shoulder, telling him, "I worked hard to make that plan work. And then someone else came by and shot them for me." He then holds the tip of the umbrella to Bruce's neck, telling him, "There are two types of people in this city, predators and prey." And just before the final blow can be delivered, a voice then says, "There's also a third. Survivors." In the doorway, Alfred stands holding a shotgun, and Oswald tells him, "You move, I'll shoot." So Alfred pulls the trigger. The force of the shotgun knocks Oswald out the window and he lands in the street. Later, the news reports that Mayor Oswald Cobblepot's death comes as no surprise with his illegal and corrupt activities. Ray Salinger, better known as the birthday boy serial killer, has been arrested. People believe the man known as Batman is behind all of this. Lucius watches on the news while he finishes his work on some new batarangs. The TV goes on stating, "Jessica Dent had just been sworn in as the city's new mayor." Over at the station, the cops watch when suddenly Axe is thrown into the room in handcuffs. The cops look at Axe's beaten body and they ask what happened, and Jim says, "He walked in front of my car." Another officer says that they can't arrest him, and Jim asks, "Why not? Who else can't we arrest? Who else is going to let the city be owned by this criminal scum?" He turns and he storms out, telling them, "I won't. Not anymore. And someone washed out my trunk." Out on the streets, Harvey shuffles through, still having images of all of the bodies that he witnessed, wrecking his mind. He walks into a store and the man behind the counter asks, "What can he get him?" He stares up at a giant wall of liquor and he says, "Whatever's the strongest." Back at the Wayne mansion, Bruce looks up at a portrait of his parents and Alfred says that it was just the wrong alley at the wrong time. There is no conspiracy. So it's time to put the costume away. Stop this. Bruce closes his eyes and he tells him, "I can't. I can never stop. Now I will always be alone." Alfred places his hand on Bruce's shoulder and then he hugs him, telling him, "You've never been alone." And with that, Bruce set out to stop the crimes of Gotham City, always remembering what Alfred said, that he doesn't need to be a better Batman, he needs to build a legend. Elsewhere, though, a man looks at the newspaper clippings asking, "Who is Batman?" He scratches his head, stating, "Yes, what a riddle this is." And there you have it. Some of the early days of Batman with a true Batman adventure and story. I loved it. I thought Batman was one of those great, and actually is a part 2 in which he continues the adventure. But like I said, there's other books in the Earth One line, so let me know if you want to know more about this alternate universe. We can start bringing you Earth One books. Don't forget to click right here for something else on our channel, and right over here for something recommended by YouTube. Subscribe to get yourself daily comic book knowledge bombs, and I'll see you next time right here.
The family of paints and coatings that safeguard a 737 also protects 737 Main Street. They keep a highway graffiti-free and a hallway criminal-free. Brighten a fire engine and even a fire engine red fence.
I can't be black.
They're all from the same place, PPG, where the paints and coatings we perfect for industry also protect your family. PPG, we protect and beautify the world.
Earth One is an alternate universe, giving a more realistic take on your favorite DC superheroes. Well, we've done Batman Earth 1 Volume 1, we've done Superman Earth 1 Volume 1, we've done Teen Titans Earth 1 Volume 1, and we've done Wonder Woman Earth 1 Volume 1. So we're going to start doing some Volume 2, starting with Batman Earth 1 Volume 2. Let's pick up where we left off, and if you're curious about the first video, we'll link that down below.
Yeah, mate.
In our last video, we watched the rise of Batman through Bruce Wayne's traumatic childhood and his personal quest to rid Gotham of all crime. With the help of Alfred and the support of his company, Bruce has trained himself to be able to take on Gotham's most vile villains. With the death of Mayor Cobblepot by Alfred's hands, the city now thinks their new vigilante hero could, in fact, be a cold-blooded killer. It was finally the end of the day, with 9 to 5 working class in Gotham City. Time to go home. As a group of people get into the elevator to head up to their apartments, they notice the elevator has not stopped on any of the requested floors. The elevator continues to raise all the way up to the penthouse, and then it stops.
Let me know what you think of that, and I'll change things if it needs to be done.
The voice of the intercom tells them that there's no need. The man spins back stating there's something wrong with the elevator. The voice tells him he knows. And one of two things is going to happen, so listen carefully. There was a man who lived on the 13th floor of this building, and every morning he would press the ground floor to go to work. When he got home, he would press the 12th floor, get out, and walk the rest of the way. Why? The man yells in the intercom stating, "Quit goofing around! Open the damn doors and let us out!" The voice says, "If you guess correctly, the doors will open. Answer incorrectly, and you'll fall 44 floors." Everyone inside begins to panic, and while some try to pry open the doors, the voice says, "Not even a guess?" And one of the women asks, "Was the elevator broken?" The voice says, "What kind of riddle would that be?" The answer is that he wasn't tall enough to hit the 13th button, and just then an explosion goes off, destroying the elevator cables, and the elevator goes crashing back down to the ground floor. Gotham used to be a place where people kept their mouths shut. The cops looked the other way. The city belongs to the criminals. That was until he showed up. Because rumor has it that if you were to say Batman's name out loud, he would show up. People thought it was something like a horror movie, except the Batman is real. And Bruce punches into a thug with Alfred radioing in that there are still more on the roof. More men appear, reaching for their guns, and as soon as the triggers are pulled, Batman quickly throws out his cape to hide behind it. The bullets pass through the fabric, and when the time is right, he strikes. One by one, the men fall, but during the scuffle, one of the men is kicked back, tripping over the roof's edge. As he begins to fall, he's yanked back up, and he's knocked out. And Alfred asks, "What are you doing? You could have let him fall. That would have been one less drug pusher in Gotham." And Batman tells him, "No one dies." He runs to try and catch up with the men who ran. And he looks down into the street and he sees them speeding away. He hops down, jumping into his car to chase after them. But as he steps on the gas pedal, he loses control and bounces into a fire hydrant and then into a van. Alfred shouts asking if he's all right, and he pulls down the mask stating, "Gonna need a better car." Later at the local bar, Harvey Bullock, the Hollywood detective, sits drinking, still trying to process everything that he's been through with the recent birthday boy killer. He slams his shot glass down and he begins to reach for the bottle when a hand grabs his wrist, and Jim Gordon tells him, "That's enough." Harvey pulls his arm back, telling him, "I'll tell you when I've had enough," and he starts to pour another shot. Before Harvey can drink, Jim pushes his hand down, telling him, "It's time to go home." And Harvey snaps back, telling him, "Not until I take care of this." Jim asks him, "What, the bottle?" Harvey tells him, "No, him," and he points at the man behind him. Harvey says, "That guy at the pool table is Damon Druce. Druce is one of Cobblepot's enforcers. Broke a lot of bones." And Jim says, "Yeah, I made a deal with Jim. We can't touch him or get involved now." Harvey grinds his teeth, telling him, "Last night, Druce beat up his girlfriend when she tried to leave him. He even hit her kid, too. And when she called it in, the captain told him, 'Hands off.' No one is going to do anything to help that woman and her kid. The child is only 12, Jim. But this son of a bitch gets a pass? No. No way. It ain't right." Harvey gets up from his stool and he yells to Damon, asking, "You like beating up on women and kids? How about you try that on me?" As he finishes, Damon punches him in the face, telling him, "You're going to sound pretty funny with a broken nose." Before Damon can hit him again, Jim charges in, punching him back, and soon a full bar fight breaks out. Once that fight is over, Jim tightens the cuffs on the men and tells Harvey, "Next time you're walking away. It's time for you to go home. Now." Harvey yells, telling him, "I'm staying right here. When I'm off duty, I'm off duty. What I do with my nights doesn't concern you." Jim asks, "Nights?" And then he grabs Harvey, throwing him outside. And the glaring sun beats down on Harvey. Jim looks at him, telling him, "It's 10 in the goddamn morning. You've been on duty for 3 hours. While Jim starts to help Harvey up, they get a call from dispatch telling them that the captain just called. There are bodies over at Gotham Towers, and they're going to need to get over there. Over at Wayne Manor, there's a ring on the door, and Alfred opens it, stating, "Blimey, it isn't the mayor himself." Alfred closes the door and he looks back at Bruce, who's still getting changed from his night out on patrol. And he says, "We've got a visitor." While Bruce gets fully dressed, Alfred lets Jessica Dent in. But before Bruce even has a chance to understand what's going on, she tells him that it's nice to see him again. The two walk inside and she goes on stating that they haven't seen each other since, graduation? And Bruce corrects her, stating, "Actually, it was your father's retirement party." She asks him if he was there, and Bruce says, "Briefly, your brother saw me out before I could even say hi. Harvey never really did like me, and you together." Bruce then asks, why is it the DA's office is cutting deals with every criminal that comes in? Jessica tells him that the criminals destroying Gotham aren't only on the streets, they're also looking down on the city from above, which is why she's here. And what she's going to tell him could very well get her and her brother killed. They have evidence that Cobblepot's criminal operations have been taken over by a group of 5 city officials. Cobblepot's empire is still active because of them. That is why there are deals being made, and we need to find out who those people are. But there are only 2 people that I can trust right now, and that's my brother and you. Bruce asks, why? We haven't spoken in years. And Jessica tells him, because of our history, you're renowned for your self-removal from the rest of Gotham. You need to come out to the rest of the world. Gotham needs a symbol of hope. Bruce waits for a moment and then he asks, isn't that what the Batman's for? To be a symbol of hope? And Jessica turns away stating, most people are afraid of it. What they need is someone who will inspire the city, not scare them. And I would like you to get out of here, roll up your sleeves, and do what your mother and father did. Help my fight in turning Gotham into the city that your parents wanted it to be. If you really want to honor their memory, please help. Bruce doesn't answer, and when Jessica grabs his hand, he says, no,
Where we begin does not define who we will become. As you write your own.
Can't put myself out there like that. If you need money, I can write a check, whatever the price is. Jessica says that it's not money that's going to save Gotham, it's people. His parents were going to save Gotham, and now someone else has to do it. As Jessica leaves Bruce in the courtyard, Alfred waits on the inside, worried about him. As Bruce comes in, Alfred steps down, telling him, you're a stronger bloke than me. Girl asks for help and you turn her away. Back with Jim, he arrives in the scene of where the elevator crashed, and he notices that only one member of the forensics team is there processing the scene. When Jim asks where everyone else is, the CSI tells him it's because they're waist deep in crap. Literally, they're working in sewers because of that creature that they call Killer Croc. Some homeless guy was trying to find a place to sleep down in the pipes and nearly got his entrails eaten. Real nasty stuff. Just then the CSI gets up stating, I gotta move the van, double parked. I'll be back in a few. As the man leaves, Batman steps out of the shadows and Jim tells him, be careful, you're already stepping on evidence. Batman pulls his boot back from the piece of paper and he says, I thought this was just an accident. And Jim asks, you're not a very good detective, are you? Your job is just beating up people. How's that going to solve anything? Batman asks him, how's Barbara? And Jim tells him, far away from Gotham, studying computer science. And now that I've said it, I'm going to assume you want a favor for helping. Batman tells him, I have some information. Word is that there are 5 people who have taken over Cobblepot's criminal network. They have yet to be identified, but they work for the city. What I need is someone to help me find out exactly who those people are. Jim bends down, grabbing a black light, telling him, that is one hell of a question. And as the black light turns on, it reveals a giant question mark on one of the elevator doors. Jim tells him, and this was not an accident. Batman then begins to ask, can you look into the 5 officials? Jim says that he would like to help, but he's going to need more to go on. There isn't a shortage of corrupt officials in this city. Batman begins to leap through the window and he tells Jim, I'll see what else I can find out, but thanks. A little while later, after returning to the station to report on the question mark, 2 officers see Jim and tell him that the captain wants to see both him and Harvey. As the 2 walk into the captain's office, Harvey then shouts, asking, are these the 2 idiots that you're waiting for? Harvey, still intoxicated, quietly says, crap. The captain says that this is District Attorney Harvey Dent. And Dent walks over to him shouting, these 2 knowingly assaulted an informant this morning. There was a direct order to stay the hell away from Damon Druce. And Bullock leans back telling him, I don't recall that conversation. Dent then yells, and he smells like he wouldn't recall much of it anyway. The captain asks if there's something he would like to share. And after a few moments of silence, Bullock steps forward stating that he does have something to say, but cuts him off telling him that he'll handle this. They were keeping tabs on Druce when a fight broke out over a pool game. They spilled their drinks all over, but before they could change, they had to hit the towers. Captain says that it sounds like an unfortunate case of an unavoidable circumstance, Mr. District Attorney. Ted leans in telling him, if either of them so much as glance at another one of my informants, I will have their badges. I know a bad cop when I see 1 or 2. But while the 2 detectives handle their business at the PD somewhere else, Bruce is sitting in an elevator with Alfred fixing his tie. Alfred says that he needs to stop fidgeting, and Bruce lets go, straightening his suit, telling him that this isn't a social call. I'm only here for more information on these officials. Then we can go to Detective Gordon. Alfred cuts him off, telling him, enough with him. I wouldn't trust any cop in Gotham. Keep this up at one day, they'll come after you too. And when that happens, just like now, I'm not going down without a fight. So be careful getting Jessica too involved. The elevator door dings and Bruce heads inside to Jessica's office and immediately tells her that he has some questions for her. Does she have any more leads pointing towards who these 5 people are? Because if he's going to be putting the Wayne Enterprises name out there, he needs to know that his men are not involved. She says that there is no one at Wayne Enterprises. And Bruce says, how can she be so sure? At that moment, she calls into the next room, telling Harvey Dent to come in. Dent steps through the door and the 2 men greet each other, and Bruce remembers back a long time ago when he told him to stay away from Jessica. Dent tells him that Jessica and himself are outing everything on the line talking to him. She trusts him, but that means that he's going to have to as well, so look at this. He holds out a tablet showing a map, and Bruce asks, what is this? Harvey explains that the reason that he has so many criminals talking is that he's been connecting the dots. Every time that he makes a deal, the web fills out, showing 5 groups around the city. The police station, the housing commission, the public works, the city council, and the state court. People they see every day. This is bad. Just then, the secretary runs into the office stating that there's been an explosion at the Museum of Art. Everyone in the city rushes to the museum, and as Jim looks up at the burning building, he sees a flaming question mark. He runs over to the captain, stating that he knows who did this. That question mark, it was the one at the towers. There was a destroyed short-range radio that the killer was using. The captain says that he can explain this later. Right now, go take a team and fan out. Jessica looks around asking, where did Bruce go? And Alfred tells her that Bruce said he had to leave. Harvey looks back at Jessica and says, I know you want to believe in Bruce, but you can't count on him. He runs to the first sign of trouble. Alfred radios to Bruce asking where he's at, and Bruce tells him up on the rooftop, suited up. Jim was right, the killer is close by. He begins to scan the rooftops looking for something, and then he spots him. The man looks towards Batman and he begins to run. So Batman radios that he's going after him. He jumps onto the roof where the man is running and he throws a battering, slightly missing and hitting the door frame. The man then makes his way to the stairs, but as Batman jumps down to the stairway, he sees a small radio. He grabs it and begins to inspect it, and then through the shadows of the window, he sees something looming over him, and then he's hit with a shovel. He's knocked out the window and down into the lower balcony, where he passes out from the fall. There you have it, the first half of Batman Earth 1 Volume 2. Now, I am sorry that we couldn't turn this into one big video, but it's long, like really long. If you like the Earth 1 universe, don't forget to check out the playlist down below. It's all of our Earth 1 books. And right now, as of the making of this video, Green Lantern Earth 1 has just come out. And you know, I'm slightly excited about Green Lantern books. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you want to get more books, if you enjoy what we do. And I'll see you next time right here at Comic Story. Welcome back to Earth 1 in the DC Universe. This is an alternate take on your favorite superheroes, a more realistic take on everything that they do. So this one is going to be part 2 of Volume 2 of Batman, in which he discovered the Riddler and this interesting individual in Gotham City. Can he take him down? Well, this is the video where we're going to find out. When we last left off, Batman jumped onto a roof where he found a man running and he threw a battering at him, slightly missing, hitting the door frame. The man made his way down some stairs and Batman jumped after him onto the stairway. When he saw a radio, he was suddenly hit in the back of the head with a shovel, knocking him out of a window and onto a lower balcony where he passed out from the fall. A short while later, Bruce opened up his eyes to find himself in a bed and his mask still on and his wounds have been tended to. He looks around panicking, asking, what happened? And the woman steps into the room telling him that he fell onto her balcony and she can't believe, but it's really the Batman. Bruce asks who she is and the woman tells him to keep it down. She has a 6-year-old son sleeping in the next room. He begins to lean up and the woman says that she figured that he wouldn't have wanted her to call 911. So she did what she could. Batman gets up getting dressed and he takes the batarang that the woman was looking at, telling her that he's sorry for crashing in. But here's some money for the smashed pots. He'll send flowers later. Back over at Jessica's office, Harvey says that he knew that he couldn't trust Bruce. He's got Arkham blood in his veins. He was creepy when they were kids, and he's creepy now. As Jessica starts to defend Bruce, there's a knock at the door, and Jessica's secretary comes in with a box with a question mark on it, stating that it has just been dropped off. Later that night, as the rain begins to pick up, there's a ring at the door of Wayne Manor. The bell is rung several times, and Alfred walks over, telling whoever it is to hold on. He's coming. As he opens up the door, Jessica is standing there asking if Bruce is home. She needs to talk to him. It's very important. Meanwhile, down in the sewers, he's searching for the tunnels, as this was the last location where he saw the man that was running before. A creature then grabs onto him and throws him against a wall and begins to move in for strikes. Using his cape, Batman shifts behind the creature and starts to smother the creature until it manages to bite through the cape. With a quick punch back, and the creature punches into Batman, and Batman continues to try and fight it. The creature's thick scales protect it from any of his normal punches. And as he's knocked down once more, he pulls out a taser, firing the throngs into the creature's cheek and electrocuting him. As Batman then rushes in to kick him, the creature grabs him by the neck, shouting, "Stop and leave me alone!" The creature lets go and says, "Please, whoever you are, just leave me alone." Batman looks at the creature and tells him that he was trying to eat him. The creature says that he doesn't eat people. He's a person. Gotham Knights come down here to either shoot or stab me. Just go away. Batman grabs the glow stick to get a better look, and he says that he's not down here looking for him. There was another person, but what is your name? The creature tells him that he is Waylon Jones, and he has a skin condition that, well, makes him look like this, like a croc. His mother gave him to a doctor to be looked after, and Dr. Haley filed his teeth to make him look more like a reptile boy and sell him off. So please, stop staring. This is the only place that I can hide from people who want to put me in a circus. Batman then asks if he's been living here. Has he seen a man that's come by? Wayland says that there was a man that he has seen in a green coat, and he can show him where he's been, but there's one question he has to ask. He looks at Batman's suit and he asks, what the hell are you wearing? As Wayland guides Batman through the tunnels, Batman explains what he's been doing, and he offers Wayland the help of the doctors on the surface. Wayland tells him no, he would much rather just stay down here. There's no point in going back up. Happy hunting, Batman. As Batman walks up to the door that Wayland led him to, he opens up his belt, pulling out a set of tools to pick the lock. He begins to try and open it, and after a few moments of not succeeding, he tosses the picks and says, screw this. With one mighty kick, he throws the door open, and he sees a wall of newspaper clippings, all featuring him. Across the desk are several monitors, all with question marks on the wallpapers. Batman reaches down to access the computer, and a voice asks, is that you, Batman? Batman looks up at the monitor requesting a password, and he asks, who are you? The voice says, that's a difficult question, isn't it? Who I am is a matter of perspective. To one, I could be a friend. To the other, an enemy. However, who I am is an unanswerable question, so we should just move along. Batman tells him, don't tell me who you are. Just tell me why you're doing this. The voice said, that is a good question. There could be many answers as to why I'm doing this. Could be good, could be bad. But it all leads to one specific question. Was it a wasted life or meaningful? Is there anything after death? That is the ultimate riddle. Perhaps you should call me the Riddler. Batman glances around and he asks, you're still here, aren't you? However, just as it's asked, the explosion goes off, throwing Batman against a wall. He gets up looking at the radio on the ground, and the Riddler tells him, that should have been the first question you asked. As Batman reaches out to grab the radio, the Riddler tells him, how about you play this time? Currently, there's an explosive rigged to a first-class car of the Gotham L train with enough power to kill everyone on board. If my question isn't answered correctly, the explosion will go off. Now take the radio and follow my directions. Run, Batman, run! Batman runs out of the room and down into the sewers into the subway tunnels. But just before falling onto the tracks, he stops. Down the tunnel, the subway makes its way, and the Riddler tells him, wait for it, jump! Batman leaps onto the passing train, tumbling onto the roof, barely grabbing onto the side, and the Riddler begins with his question. I am a part of the bat that's not in the sky. I can swim in a lake in the moonlight, and yet I am dry. What am I? The train shifts, throwing Batman off his balance, and he retains his posture. And he says, I know what that is. A shadow. In another location close by, the Riddler frowns, and Batman asks, did you hear me? Then the explosions are set off, and Batman is thrown from the roof down onto the nearby tracks. Before he has a chance to get up, the rest of the train explodes, and all Batman can do is watch. Later, as medical and police arrive, Jim starts to make his way down when Batman calls out to him. Jim looks down an alley and he steps out telling him, this isn't a game to him. It never was. He called himself the Riddler, and even with the correct answer, he blew it up. There were families on that train, kids. He murdered kids. Jim follows Batman back into the shadows, and he pulls out a small stack of papers, stating that the safe house has been rigged to explode. Everything was burning except for these. Jim looks through them, and Batman says they had 4 words on them. Crane, Drake, Pierce, Black. I would assume that those are names. What if these mass killings aren't what they look like? 5 people took control of Cobblepot's empire. Jim asks, what is he trying to say? And Batman says the Riddler didn't care that I answered the question. These acts don't seem random. Perhaps the Riddler is all an act to cover up the real murders. He's killing many to hide one. So cross-reference the list of victims.
Okay,
I bet these names are going to match. Batman turns to leave, and he tosses Jim a small device, telling him, when you find out, call me on that. Jim looks at it and asks, what is it? A cell phone with one button?
I like his
Batman tells
wings.
him, it's a bat signal. Once he grapples out of there, Jim looks closer at the device, and he says, Christ, he actually put a bat on it. Back in Wayne Manor, Jessica begins pulling out the contents of a box, stating that she can't trust anyone right now. That's why she wanted to show Bruce this. As Alfred takes the note, he reads, I'll stop asking questions if you arrest him. And Alfred asks, who? Jessica pulls out a box and pulls out a small Batman doll. And Alfred asks, "Why are you coming here with this?" Just then, Jessica's phone rings from her brother, and she picks it up and tells him to slow down. After a few moments, she says, "Oh God, there was another explosion. Tell Bruce I'll be back." As she runs out, Bruce weakly calls out to Alfred, pushing the false bookcase. After Alfred is done patching him up, he gets up and feels his phone vibrate. When he answers it, Jim tells him, "I matched the names. There's something else, though. I have a way to find the Riddler." Later, back in Jessica's office, the Batman doll is thrown onto the table, and Bruce then asks, "How long have you known?" She sighs, stating since the moment that he said that he thought the bat was a symbol of hope for the city. Only he would think that. He begins to state that he made a vow to his parents' grave to take down the killer, and Jessica says that she thought he needed to focus on his life. But she never would have thought that, does the person behind these attacks know who you are? Is that why they're trying to force me to arrest the Batman? Bruce tells her no. The Riddler is all about distractions. I've been working with Detective James Gordon. He's a man you can trust. The two then begin to search through the records of the people who died in the accidents. And they notice one thing between the three of them. Each had an offshore account that had been drained the day before their death. All to a company named Answers Inc. And its owner, Bruce Wayne. At that same moment, there's a knock on the door at Wayne Manor, and Jim holds up papers, telling Alfred that he has a warrant to search the premises. Jim lets him in, and Alfred asks, "So you were Gordon?" And he hits him with a cane. After a bit of fighting, Alfred is tased, but back at the office, Bruce feels his hair grabbed from behind. He's spun around and sucker punched, and Harvey tells him, "You stay the hell away from my sister." Later at the Gotham PD, Alfred sits in a cell and Bruce asks what happened to him. Alfred looks over at his black eye and he asks, "What the hell happened to you?" Bruce tells him that he was at Jessica's office going over the case and he was still out because he didn't hit Harvey back. Alfred says Gordon came by the manor, must have figured it all out. "I knew he couldn't have been trusted, Bruce." Bruce stops him, telling him it's not because of Batman, it's because the Riddler left a trail from the accounts of the victim that led back to Bruce Wayne. Alfred then says the case with the new suit from Lucius Kane, but the police have it here. Just then Harvey begins charging towards Bruce Wayne, yelling, "I still got some questions for you." But before he can take another step, the lights go out, and suddenly a voice calls over the radio, and the Riddler says, "Well, that's all thanks to you. Allow me to welcome all of the important people here and ask a riddle. If you answer it correctly, the power comes back on, and I go back to my game of solitaire. But if you get it wrong, the entire building will turn to rubble, with you in it. But before I ask my question, there's something else I'd like to do." As a clink then rings out, and Alfred looks at the cell door swing open. All of the locked-up criminals push open their cell doors, and Maroni shouts, "He wants Harvey Dent." As a fight breaks out between the cops and the criminals, Alfred joins in to help, and one of the criminals grabs a knocked-out officer's gun. He points it at Alfred, and then there's a sudden loud thud, and Bruce pushes through, wielding a fire extinguisher. While the fighting goes on, the Riddler asks, "There's a criminal in a cell wanting to leave. There are no windows or cracks in the walls. He has no tools, and the door to his cell is 5 inches thick. How did he escape?" Harvey pulls Jessica to get out of there, and she pulls back, telling him that she can't. Bruce and Alfred are inside. Harvey then pulls harder towards the door, telling her that they will help once she's safe. And that's when he feels a slight prick and sees blood coming out of his stomach. A criminal laughs as he holds up a bloody knife. "I'm cutting a deal, Dent!" Literally. Bruce punches the man, shouting, "The door wasn't locked!" "But that doesn't matter. You're going to blow up this place anyway." One of the men then shouts, "Maroni has Dent." As everyone turns, they see Maroni holding Harvey up with one hand, holding a Molotov in the other. And as Harvey looks over at Jessica, Maroni slams the bottle against Harvey's face, burning the right side of his head. Before Jessica can reach out, Bruce runs over, covering Harvey, smothering the fire. Jessica yells to Harvey, and as she holds his head up, he whispers, "Don't let me die." Jessica holds Harvey's face closer, pressing her face against the burned flesh. Bruce then grabs Jessica, telling her that they need to go, and she turns back, shouting that her brother is dead before passing out. Bruce takes Jessica, jumping out the window while the Riddler continues his countdown, and that's when Bruce sees 2 laundry trucks in the parking lot. As an officer comes over to Jessica, Bruce runs over to the truck, swinging open the back door, and the Riddler says, "Oh, you got me." Almost. Bruce looks and sees the van is packed with explosives, and then the Riddler backs up into the second van. He begins to laugh. "Ha ha ha! This has been fun! But soon every person who knows about me will be dead." The Riddler speeds off, with Bruce jumping into the van and hot-wiring it. But just before the Riddler can push the button, Bruce radios to him. He says that he has a riddle. There are 2 cars that can leave the GCPD 5 seconds apart, traveling 60 miles an hour. The one in front is a trigger to the bomb in a second. The cars are within a half a block of each other. What happens to both cars when the trigger is flipped? Riddler looks in the rear view to see Bruce behind him. He steps on the gas, saying, getting ahead by one city block is the answer. The two race through the city streets, but eventually, Bruce slams into the side of the Riddler's van. The Riddler's van flips into the subway below, and Bruce jumps down, with the Riddler jumping from the van, firing his guns. He shouts, asking, "Who are you?" And Bruce punches him, telling him, "You'll never know." It's over. He grabs the switch, telling him, "No, let us answer the ultimate riddle together. Is there anything after death?" Before he presses down, though, Wayland appears, slashing at the Riddler's back. The Riddler falls to his knees and he spins back, shooting Wayland, shouting, "We'll all die now!" Batman throws a batarang into Riddler's wrist, freeing the switch, and then he runs in, punching him. Later, as the police arrive, Bruce goes to the hospital to see Jessica. As he sits there, he hears her begin to say something. Excited, he gets up from his chair, and she says, "Wayne, stay the hell away from my sister." Bruce pauses, and then Jessica looks over, asking Bruce, where is her brother? She reaches out, and Bruce grabs her hand, telling her that he's sorry. But before she could hear him, she passes back out. Over at the station, Jim steps out of the commissioner's office, and Harvey Bullock asks, "What's the word? Did he get a gold star?" Jim takes off his glasses, stating that he's been promoted to captain. And back at the hospital, Bruce leaves to allow Jessica to rest, and then gets a call from Alfred. Alfred asks, what is he supposed to do with this? What does this thing eat? Wayland, bandaged up from the gunshot wound, says that he eats food, old man. Bruce walks out, stating that the city has a new chance, and so do they. And Alfred then says that he also did the thing that he asked. He sent flowers to that apartment, and it turns out that the owner was out of town when he crashed in, and he's a man. So don't let yourself thinking that Gotham's cured of anything just yet. He may have worked out who he was, but in Gotham, you never know who anyone else really is. Off in another apartment, the woman who treated Bruce plays with a cat on her bed while holding a batarang. There you have it. The Riddler has been disposed of, and Batman is sent off to fight against Catwoman? I don't know, because Volume 3 hasn't come out as far as I know. I'm going to look into it. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. If it has, we're going to cover it. If it hasn't, well, I really wish Jeff Johns would get on that. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because next week we're going to be concluding Green Lantern Earth 1 with part 2 of that one. And then we're going to be bringing you Superman Earth 1 Volume 2 to celebrate Superman Action Comics 1000. Don't forget to check out our Discord with one of the most amazing communities on Discord, talking about comic books, video games, and all of your favorite stuff in the link down below. And I'll see you next time right here at Comic Story.
Why are you hovering? You're just watching.
Oh no, that's faded, right? Well, with fixed for life pet insurance from Bought by Many, your premium never goes up. You just get it sorted. Search online for Bought by Many pet insurance.
Don't be mean to her.
What? I leaned forward and I fall on you.
DC has another timeline known as Earth 1, which is basically a more realistic take on our favorite DC superheroes. And we've brought you Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and the Teen Titans, the realistic versions of these superheroes. Today, we're going to begin our new adventure, the realistic version of the Green Lantern, a space epic beyond proportions. Enjoy the first half of Green Lantern.
Just notice I've got these other line underneath. Let me do something quickly. Maybe that'll make a difference.
Over the recent years, space exploration has changed. What was once funded by the government is now funded wholly by private companies to extract precious metals. These metals are used for the Earth's ever-growing needs for new technology, which these private companies are spearheading. Along the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, Captain Seaton receives a message from Earth that one of their competitors has just struck a 17-ton load on another asteroid. One of the miners asks if this means that they are Earthbound now, and Seaton tells them that they don't know if their contract is pulled yet, but she needs everyone to return. Another miner, Volkov, gets ready to return to the station when his partner tells him no, he's not returning. Volkov asks what does he mean, and his partner, Harold Jordan, also known as Hal Jordan, is done with Earth. There's no point in turning back now. Their contract hasn't been pulled yet. Volkov then asks Hal, how long has it been since he's been to Earth? And Hal responds telling him since the Arrowhead launched. Volkov says, wait, back when NASA was still around? Wasn't that like 10 years ago? You haven't been to Earth since then? Wait, does that mean that Hal Jordan is a part of NASA? Hal doesn't respond, but instead loads up another scanning cartridge for his mining tool, and he gets back to work. He begins firing into the ground, and the cartridge ricochets off the surface as if it is hitting something metallic. Hal leans down to brush away some of the dirt, and as he does, he finds a metal plate with a strange marking on it. A few hours later, Hal radios back to Volkov that he needs to come to his location, and as he does, Volkov asks, what is it? Find the big deposits, because we can use some good news. As Volkov climbs over the crater, he sees Hal uncovering what seems to be an alien spacecraft. Volkov runs up telling him that they need to report this before they can touch it, and Hal says that he'd much rather do some exploration first, as he opens the hatch.
Just let everyone know, guys, that my son is going to be playing some of the Spider-Man PS4 game, as obviously I've been playing ahead of him, and he's got loads more to catch up with. And if you guys want to catch up what I've been playing with, what I've played lately, check out the playlist down below, or up below, wherever the playlist link is there, and see what went on. But he will be in the background playing that game, so if you hear the odd, oh my god, then that is him in the background, but you can still hear the playlist playing, and I'll still be drawing for I'd say another hour. If not, if I don't get everything finished today, guys, I will return and finish it all off tomorrow.
They are aborting the mission and they're heading back to Earth. Time for them to come back. Hal says that they may have just uncovered something big here. They seemingly have found an alien vessel, something that they're going to need another pair of eyes on. Judging by the dust, this thing's been sitting around here since even before Sputnik. Seaton then says, what is he basing this off of? And Hal says they have a couple of solid pieces of evidence. She should really just hop on a shuttle but before he can finish, the ship shifts again and begins to fall closer into the crater. Hal runs to the hatch telling Volkov that they need to get out of here and step carefully. The two men climb slowly back onto the ship and they inch their way towards the ground when the ship begins to fall. Hal and Volkov jump off the falling ship onto the crater, and Hal tells Seaton that he'll explain everything when they return. And a short while later, as Hal drives the shuttle back to the station, Seaton tells him that they're going to have to turn this one in. Sadly for them, they won't be the ones investigating. Behind him, Volkov opens up the bag and pulls out the lantern battery and the ring that he took from the ship. He slides the ring onto his finger and holds it close to the battery. The ring begins to glow, and then it shoots off a beam of energy tearing through the shuttle. The vacuum of space begins to suck Volkov out, and Hal quickly reaches out to grab his hand. The battery rockets out of the ship and into space, and as the pull of space becomes stronger, Hal begins to lose his grip on Volkov's hand, pulling the ring off of him. Volkov is thrown into the void of space, and Hal shouts for him, but no one can hear him. Back at the station, Seaton and the others watch as the shuttle breaks apart, asking what are they doing, and just then Volkov's body slams into the window. Seaton says that the readings are stating that there's an overload in the ship. A moment later, Hal's shuttle explodes in green light, and out of it, Hal Jordan floats in that green light. Something else at that same moment begins to wake up. The robot that Hal saw back on the alien vessel. Over in the front of the mining ship, Hal looks around and says, okay, you can breathe, that's good. He has no way of speaking with the people on the station, and that's kind of bad. He looks around and he sees everyone on the station can see him, and he places his feet onto one of the shuttle's panels and jumps off towards the station. As he begins to float on, he loosens his grip and he releases the ring by mistake, and that's when the green glow quickly begins to fade. He struggles trying to reach and grab for the ring, and as his finger touches it, the green glow
returns. Color, I think is what it is.
He takes it, sliding it onto his finger, and as he does, a symbol appears on his chest. One that looks just like the ring. After recovering, Hal makes his way towards the station, pointing to the hatch to let him in. One of the miners runs over, but Seaton stops him, telling him that she knows this is going to hurt, but they can't let him in. They don't know if he's infected with radiation or something. Hal watches as everyone stops moving, and Seaton grabs a board and begins to write. She holds it up so that Hal can see it, and Hal reads it out loud. Risk too great. Can't expose crew to radiation. Our thoughts are with you. After Hal reads it, he closes his eyes, and he says, of course, he understands. Just then he notices something. The robot from before rockets up, punching him in the back. He's knocked away, and as he regains his balance, he thinks, what if he could do what Volkov did? He destroyed the shuttle. Maybe he could do the same to the robot. He aims the ring at the robot, and the robot charges at him, launching him into a nearby asteroid. Hal spins back, firing a beam of energy at the robot, but ends up missing completely. The robot begins to prepare another attack, but this time Hal focuses his energy, and he jumps off of the asteroid, punching straight into the robot's torso. The force of the jump sends both Hal and the robot flying throughout space, but Hal doesn't let go. Instead, he concentrates on the energy, and as the ring begins to glow bright, the robot is ripped to pieces. However, with exerting so much energy at once, Hal's ring begins to fade, and he slowly begins to feel the air being sucked out of his lungs. As everything begins to fade black, he blinks his eyes, waking up on an operating table. And he asks, "What happened? Captain Seed? Anyone?" As he looks at the tube, an alien creature jumps out at him, and Hal shouts, falling off of the table. He rips out the tubes that are on his mouth, and he runs out of the room, and only a few steps in, he begins to feel a bright light shining down upon him. He sees that he's station, or on Earth, for that matter. He takes a step forward, feeling himself slip off of the ridge, and he spins back to grab onto the ledge before falling off into the chasm. The alien then reaches down to help Hal up and tells him,
"It's okay. My name is Kilowog, and we're on the same team."
Kilowog holds up his hand, showing the same ring that Hal is wearing, and he tells him,
"I'm a lantern too. Now let's get you back inside."
A few hours later, back inside of the lab, Kilowog said that he's really lucky. He honestly didn't think the tissue he designed would graft onto his skin so well. Hal touches the parts of his skin that Kilowog grafted the tissue onto, asking, "Where am I?" And Kilowog yells, "Oh, Bolavax Vix, not to be confused with Bolavax Bell. Totally different. We're still an independent world, remote and isolated, sure, but sovereign. But you don't have anything to fear. All of the lab techs are out on field work. I sent them all out when there was a distress call coming out of your ring. Speaking of, there are so many questions to be asked. As a scientist, please do not be offended, but I must ask you, what breed of alien are you?" Hal tells him, "Earth human." And Kilowog tells him, "That's incredible. I've never heard of an Earth human. But like I said, we're a little isolated over here. Now, on to the next important subject. See, the ring was passed down to me after the death of my predecessor. I had very little to go on. There isn't much about the core, just stories and folktales. So perhaps you could teach me about the ring. That way I can be a true Green Lantern." Hal stares for a moment and he asks him, "What? I don't know anything about this ring. I just found it." Kilowog tells him, "Wait, that's impossible." And Hal continues telling him that he's sorry, but he doesn't know what to tell him. He doesn't even know how they understand each other. Kilowog shouts, "That's impossible! No one but a powerful and skilled lantern could have done what you did. You killed a manhunter." Hal blinks, asking, "A what?" Kilowog points over at the broken manhunter that Hal destroyed, telling him that he's been studying this to try and find a flaw in it. But what he is saying is that he didn't defeat it. Hal looks at the manhunter and tells him, "No, I did fight this, but I thought it actually killed me. As for these lanterns, I don't know anything about them. All I know is that this robot thing attacked and I acted on instinct, just using the tool that was in my hand. But does that mean that there are more?"
That was the most heartwarming thing in the game.
You sure you can't hear that?
With the Green Lanterns came the tyranny of the
I know you did.
The Green Lanterns
Just punch Spidey as Miles Morales, didn't you?
They were peacekeepers, but that was a long time ago. The manhunters rose up, killing all of them, and the rings were scattered throughout the galaxy. Mine was passed down.
I'm turning down the playlist in the background, guys, because I really don't want to take away the experience for my son to play this game, because it's an amazing game.
Pretty much everything in the entire
Yeah, such an amazing game. So I'm turning things down so you can hear a lot better, but you should be able to hear it. Let me know, guys, if you can still hear it. Your input does mean a lot to me. But as I said, we're running later today. I might end the stream in a moment and come back tomorrow.
Hal holds out his ring and it begins to glow, and Hal asks, "Is there a right way to do this?" Kilowog tells him, "This isn't magic. There's all the ring in her middle."
Nicole, what do you think of that color? I can't get a right color for that.
For the sake of my own crew, I would never take something into the air without testing. If this thing isn't magic, then it's a machine, a tool that can be mastered. And that means before I leave, I need to know how this thing works. A short while later, Hal and Kilowog are flying around the planet. And Kilowog explains that he likes to fasten his power battery to his belt so he's never caught short. So if he's ever to find another battery, he should probably do the same. Hal begins to ask, where could he find one? And then he begins to lose focus on flying, and he falls out of the sky. Kilowog shouts and needs to concentrate, and just as Hal does, he begins to pull himself back into the air, laughing. "I've always wanted to do this." Kilowog then tells him, "Come on, there's some other things that I need to show you." Kilowog sets up a target on a rock, and Hal begins to practice shooting. But Hal ends up creating a blast way bigger than the rock, and he blows a hole into the cliff. Later, as the two of them sit down to eat, Hal said that he's surprised. He hasn't eaten solid food for days, and this stuff is great. Kilowog laughs, telling him, "We're nearly identical, biochemically speaking, so there's no surprise that we like the same food." But as the two begin to eat, a light shines upon them, and a voice calls out to Kilowog to stand down. He knows the rules. Step aside. They're here for the alien. A group of aliens
If I do that,
begin to walk up, and Kilowog yells, "I never agreed."
does it look better now? It might be the red behind it. I can just change the color behind it
The
then.
general tells Kilowog that they're here to protect their own and make sure no threats come in from the outside. Hal steps up, telling him, "Wait a second. Kilowog here saved my life." And the general tells him that the ring he has on may translate his words, but he has no understanding of the kind of damage that he's doing here.
That look better.
Kilowog holds up his ring, telling everyone that they are not taking him. But before they can go on, another officer looks back and they see dozens of manhunters flying out of Kilowog's lab. Just then, the general is hit with an energy blast, tearing him apart, and more manhunters fly down, firing upon everyone. As more come, Hal and Kilowog try to hold them off, but
Yeah, I'll leave that
Hal
off
is
then.
knocked to the ground, and as he looks up, he sees all of the manhunters focusing their attacks on Kilowog. He gets up, rushing over to pull Kilowog out of the blast, and with that, they rocket into space. Pretty crazy cliffhanger, huh? Well, don't forget to check out the rest of the Green Lantern Earth 1 storyline by buying the book at your favorite bookstore, local comic book store, or even online. We will get to the conclusion of this eventually, but since the book did just come out, we can't give you the entire story. It literally came out like last week sometime. At the time of recording this story right here.
Can you still hear that playlist in the background?
Earth 1 books that we have on display in our playlist, and you can find them all on Amazon or your local comic book store. And don't forget, you can find me on Twitter at ComicStorian, where I go crazy all the time talking about my favorite comics. And we review our favorite comics on there in 280 characters. Thanks for some interesting reviews. I'll see you guys next time right here at ComicStorian.
Can you guys still hear the playlist in the background? And morning, Escape. Can you
Big morning.
hear me?
Introducing Up and
Can you
Go
hear me at all?
Energize.
If I say la la la, you
Protein
stink of
breakfast
weed,
shake from Up and Go.
you dance and food.
33 grams of protein.
And then later on, I'm going to give you some shampoo that I picked up from Eden. And after that, I'm going to, you can't hear me.
Find in your supermarket cereal aisle today.
Can you hear me? Adverts, shut up.
Earth 1 is a universe where we have a more realistic take on your favorite superheroes. Today, we're going to be concluding Green Lantern. Last time, we showed you how he got the ring, but this time, we're going to see the fight between the Manhunters and the Green Lantern Corps. When we last left off, Hal and Kilowog were facing off against Kilowog's people as the general showed up and told them to stop messing with the Green Lantern rings. But that's when the Manhunters flew in, firing down on everyone. The Manhunters, who had conquered the entire galaxy. Hal got up as they were being fired at, pulled Kilowog out of the blast, and he rocketed off into space. And as the general gets back up, he sees the two leaving, scoffing, calling them cowards. A short while later, Hal slams down onto a broken moon with Kilowog, and just as Kilowog wakes back up, he turns his ring on to Hal. Hal shouts, "Whoa, hang on, it's only me." And Kilowog puts his arm down, asking, where are we? Hal tells him, "I don't know, but we should probably get out of here." Kilowog stops him, asking, "What? Why? We didn't get back there. How could you have left them? Now the Manhunters are going to take bullet backs. They won't stop coming." Hal tells him, "That would be crazy. It would be suicide." Kilowog readies himself, taking back off into space. Hal tries to go after it, but Kilowog fades off into the blackness of the void, and he stops, telling himself, "I can't even go after him. I don't know where he's going. How can I just disappear following someone else?" Just then, his ring begins to shine, reacting to something on the moon. Hal flies closer to some of the buildings, and he sees one destroyed with the Green Lantern symbol in front of it. He lands, and a voice calls out to him, "Penelope." Hal turns around, and Kilowog goes to telling him Penelope was the Green Lantern of this sector. This was his world, and you were right. I can't do this alone. Hal then asks, "Are there any more Green Lanterns out there anymore?" Kilowog tells him, "It's possible, though they say the Manhunters destroyed the central battery on Oa. The rings aren't as powerful as they once were. If we're going to try to find the others, it's not going to be easy." Hal then asks, "When has it ever been easy?" The two begin to search for more lanterns, traveling from planet to planet, following wherever the rumors may lead, until they finally investigate a seemingly deserted planet. They fly into the planet's underground tunnels, and two large green constructs slam them both into the wall, and a voice...
You know what? I don't think I'm going to add that red onto it. I'm going to put it like this.
A woman with short hair, and Kilowog manages to state they need help.
And then just sort of shade it from there.
They've seen their kind before, and finding a weapon doesn't make them a warrior. They all know about the war. Hal looks at the people gathering around and says that he can see that she is a protector. It's our mission too. Kilowog's home planet is being destroyed by Manhunters. The woman releases the constructs, telling them that she'll let them go. But if they ever return here, she swears upon the heart of Orissa, the woman that she was named after, that they will die. Later on Mogira in the Opa system, Hal and Kilowog follow yet another lead that brings them to Becca. Becca tells them that he's sorry, but the information they gathered about the Green Lanterns is a bit outdated. They're about 20 cycles too late. Hal asks if there's any information that may point them in the right direction, and Becca tells them that he's sorry. But what exactly do they know about the Lantern Corps? Kilowog says they don't know much, and Becca says, perhaps I can clear something up for you. I myself wasn't told things, I experienced them. The Owens sought to bring order to the galaxy by creating the Green Lantern Corps, and in doing so, they referred to themselves as the Guardians. Though the Guardians held themselves at a distance from the Corps, in time they felt threatened by the power that they had bestowed upon so many beings. The Manhunters were created by the Guardians to destroy the very thing that the Guardians created because they had gotten too diverse and unwieldy for them to control. The Manhunters were used to destroy the Green Lantern Corps, and they did just that. Those that did manage to escape were left with diminished powers due to the central power battery of Oa being destroyed. I'm sorry to say, but there is little that can be done regarding Bolivac's pick. You are, however, welcome to stay here with me. With that, Hal and Kilowog leave. Becca opens up a small box. Later, as the two rest up at an abandoned space station before their next leave, Hal and Kilowog sit and drink, talking about how things used to be back on Earth. But as the conversation goes on, Kilowog responds in his native alien tongue. Hal sighs, stating that it looks like the rings are going to be dead. He's going to go looking for more booze. Just as Hal gets up to leave, he's pushed aside by an alien, which seems to be followed by a stampeding crowd. Hal looks up to see a Manhunter ship flying down, and as Hal shouts to Kilowog that they need to leave, Hal is suddenly knocked out. A short while later, as Hal opens his eyes, he sees himself crammed into a small space with a dozen other aliens. Soon the hatch of the ship drops, and the Manhunter begins speaking in a language that Hal can't understand, seemingly ordering everyone that they need to move. Hal follows the crowd, and as they start to go below the planet's surface, they're all handed a pickaxe. Hal takes his and remembers that he's wearing his ring, and he quickly takes it off, shoving it into his pocket. Time passes as Hal is now forced to work in the mines, and shortly into a shift, he hears some of the aliens arguing with the Manhunters. The Manhunter incinerates the group, and from not paying attention, Hal slips and drops his pick. A female alien grabs it before it's lost, and Hal says, thanks. He continues to work in the harsh mine, watching others die, sleeping in cramped areas, drinking disgusting water that has body parts floating in it. One morning, as the workers are escorted back into the mine, Hal hears the aliens speaking and suddenly, he looks down in his pocket to see the ring sharp.
Just marching into it. I didn't notice that before.
That was his spot, and Hal shouts back that this isn't his spot, and he knows it. The alien gets ready
It's not even going through it.
Slide back on his ring and blast the alien with the power of the Green Lanterns. Hal sighs, stating that was supposed to be a secret, and just as the Manhunters arrive, the alien woman from before runs by, grabbing him, shouting, "This way!" The two get behind a rock, and the woman asks if that's what she thinks it is, and Hal tells her, yeah, but it's kind of useless at the moment. Seems like it can only translate. We need to get to the surface. Whatever is up there is charging the ring. Maybe one of the lantern batteries is up there. The woman tells him that getting to the surface is the easy part. It's just not getting killed in the process that's going to be a tad difficult. After sneaking onto one of the loaders, Hal and the woman make their way to the surface, but that's when they have to wait for the acid rain to pass. While they wait, Hal looks at the ring, stating that if only he could make a shield, and the woman ignores the comment, stating that they are close to the building that he described, and once they get there, they can power up that ring and get off this planet. Hal then says that maybe they should try and bring the people along with them, and the woman stops him, telling them that she doesn't care about them, and neither does he. When they leave this place, they won't be coming back, and the others are going to have to find a way out on their own. Hal goes quiet, and the woman says he knows that she's right. The two sleep, letting the rain pass, and Hal wakes up finding himself alone and without his ring. He runs out towards the place where the ring was charging and sees the woman standing there holding the ring up. He tells her that she needs to be careful with that. She snaps back that he never deserved it. All he did was find it. She is more capable of using it, so stand back. Just then, the woman releases a blast of energy into the building. Hal gets back up, stating that she needs to be careful. Just give him the ring, but then a blue blast hits the ground. The Manhunters start to fly towards Hal and the woman. The woman turns the ring on the Manhunters, but before she can fire off an attack, one of the Manhunters incinerates her where she's standing.
Yeah, because it's the volunteer of the week.
And the woman's finger wearing the ring hits the ground. He snatches it up.
I mean, they put so much detail into the game, didn't they, mate?
However, the ring doesn't carry
Put so
the
much
weight.
detail into this game. It's unbelievable.
After crawling through it, he sees a bright green
Crack
light, and
when you're
that's
playing.
when he sees the Owen's central power battery. It was in fact never destroyed. Hal says, "Here it goes," and he holds out his
It's worth it.
Just as he does, an immense amount of power shoots into the ring, and a loud voice asks, "Who?"
They're like made out of ghost thing.
Yeah, but it's a carrot, isn't it? So you're not really meant to pay much attention to the carrots. You're meant to pay attention to what they're saying.
Now listen close. The Manhunters will soon enter the containment dome. As the sole survivor of the Owen Council, I must ask you to do a very important task. Those manhunters were created to protect against the unpredictable Green Lanterns. The manhunters cannot replicate, but they can repair. The manhunters turn to honest, killing off all of the Owens. But with that fully charged ring, there is something that you must do. Destroy the containment field. Let the energy flow freely to allow the other lanterns to become fully charged. Call out to all of the remaining lanterns. Tell them this location. And together we can turn their energy towards the battery. The feedback will loop back and destroy Oa and the manhunters. Hal says, wait, I can't do that. There are thousands of people here. It would slaughter everyone on a massive scale. And the man asks, what are those lies in the face of peace for the galaxy? There is only one way. The battery cannot be destroyed. It can only be used as a weapon. Now go! Soon the light begins to fade and Hal begins to hear the footsteps of manhunters walking in. He turns, focusing his ring, and the blast of the ring shoots out, piercing through the heads of two manhunters. Hal says, well, damn! He then flies up out of the dome to try and begin destroying it, but as he does, several more manhunters appear and they begin to attack. He manages to shield himself from those blasts and he shoots off into space to get away. Once there are no more manhunters following, he looks at the ring and asks if it can send out a distress signal. The ring responds with omnidirectional distress signal prepared. And Hal says, finally! Send the message! Once he's finished, he flies down to Oa to fight the manhunters, but his message begins as he sends out to anyone wearing a ring. He tells them that he knows that they don't know who he is or have any reason to trust him, but believe him when he says the power battery of Oa is intact. There may be no one left who can help him, but this has to stop, and he's going to give it his best shot. As the manhunters begin to overwhelm Hal, one is blasted away and Kilowog flies down shouting, all we needed was local, buddy. More manhunters begin to fly in, and Hal grabs Kilowog, telling him, we're going to need to create a hole in this dome. Protect me for as long as you can, Kilowog. And while Kilowog does just that, Hal creates a construct, just as Orisa did back on her planet. After making the hole, Kilowog looks in, and a manhunter shoots out, punching into his stomach, and another punches him to the ground. Hal shouts to Kilowog, but before he has a chance to get to him, a spacecraft flies up, shooting missiles, knocking everyone away. But from them, something else comes out, and everyone with a Green Lantern ring arrives to battle off the manhunters. Hal looks up, and in a moment of awe, tells everyone to focus their attack on the dome. All of the lanterns do their rings to tear apart, revealing and letting out the Owen power battery. Everyone's ring begins to charge up, and Hal tells everyone that they're supposed to blast the battery, but that would end up destroying everything, including the people around there. Sinestro then tells them, if that's the case, it would be a small price to pay for the freedom of everyone in their home planets. Orisa shouts, but we better do it quick. Shielding off these manhunters is only going to get us so far. Another alien says that he might have a plan to release the charge and save everyone. And Hal tells him, I'm ready for anything at this point. A few moments later, all of the lanterns hit that central power battery, destroying the manhunters and setting off an explosion that can be seen from outer space. As the smoke clears, Hal looks back asking how. And Kilowog flies down telling him that this thing works a lot better when charged, huh? Orisa flies down telling them that they have to move, and Hal says, right, to the mines. All of the lanterns fly below the surface of the planet, and just as the miners are rounded up, Becca is shot from behind. Hal catches the miners that he was carrying and calls out to Becca as he falls. He takes off his ring, stating that he must pass it on. Help those in need. Hal takes the ring, and seconds later, all of the miners are pulled out of the mines and into the air. Once in space, Hal tells everyone to get ready. They're about to fly really, really fast. A short while later, on Paraguay, an uninhabited moon in the Pakachi system, everyone drinks the fresh water, and they take their time to recover. Hal notices a woman by herself, and he asks if there was a Green Lantern where she came from. She tells him no. Hal hands her Becca's ring, stating, there is now. You're going to have to figure out how to use it. If you need help, call on any of us here. Once everyone is taken to recover, one of the lanterns asks, what do they do now? And Kilowog says that they should go to their home.
Oh, yes.
Everyone agrees. Sinestro says, we're all in agreement now. We need to decide who's going to lead us, though. Hal says, how about we nominate Orisa? Kilowog yells, I second that. She has more skill and knowledge than any of us here. Plus, she's damn scary when she wants to be. She sighs and says, if they all want her to, she can try. Just hope she won't let them down. Hal then asks, all in favor? And all of the lanterns say yes. With everyone now having a set plan in motion, Hal and Kilowog head back to Volovac's Vit to clean up the last remaining manhunters on Kilowog's planet. Once it's done, Hal says his goodbyes. He heads off to space. Meanwhile, in an unknown location, the unknown figure who was before giving Hal instructions to destroy Owen sighed and said that if only he had done what was asked. Those Green Lanterns were always too willful. They think they know what's best. That blast would have ended our problems, manhunters and lanterns alike. However, I designed those rings so long ago, and this time, I did a much better job. He walks into a room with another central power battery, but this one is yellow, and everyone in the room raises their fists into the air, all wearing a yellow ring. A short while later, back on Earth, Amy Seaton, Hal's captain in the mining mission, gets ready to walk home when she hears a voice call out to her from the alley. She looks back to see Hal and asks, Hal, is that really you? He tells her, yeah, it's me. It's a really long story, but there's more out there than you could have imagined. And now that I'm back, I've brought home the tools to make this world a better place. And there you have it. A really interesting take on the Green Lantern lore. Personally, I really did enjoy this. And that cliffhanger with the Yellow Lanterns, oh my God, give me a volume 2. I need it right now. Don't forget to join our community over on our Discord where we talk about some of your favorite comic books and video games. And I'll see you next time right here. Comic.
Running to game when you hear about Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Specialist Edition.
Story.
Baba.
What's that? All right.
Whee. Awesome.
You guys liked Batman Earth 1, didn't you? Well, the Earth 1 universe is rather vast. There's multiple superheroes in this universe from the main DC universe. You have Batman, you have Superman, you have the Teen Titans, you have Wonder Woman, and I believe there's a Green Lantern coming out soon. Don't hold me to that, but we're going to keep giving you some of these Earth 1 storylines on a maybe weekly basis. So let's give you the origins of Superman in Earth 1. Our story begins with young Clark Kent boarding a train to the big city of Metropolis. In the back of his head, he thinks about his mother, Martha, asking, why not just fly there? As Clark steps out into the city, he thinks, because this is different. This is more real. After getting unpacked at a hotel, he decides to take in some of the sights when they walk through downtown. Even in the big, bright city, there are still some dark people within it.
Oh, no.
As he turns down an alleyway, a man with a gun appears, telling him to hand over his wallet. Watch and follow. His eyes begin to glow red. He can fix this right now. He can end this. He tells the man that he should put the gun down and just walk away. The man laughs. Ooh, scary contacts. Big freaking deal. No sooner does the man say that than Clark fires a blast, knocking the man down, and he vanishes. Clark knew that he was different, and all he wanted was to just fit in, lead a normal life. He tried out for the local football team, and even there, he was still better than everyone else on the team. The largest man on defense stood in front of him. Clark just ran right through him. But still, there was something missing. So the next day, Clark stopped by the Neodyne Industries looking for a job. The recruiter told Clark that they're not hiring any interns or trainees at the moment, so Clark stops him, telling him, actually, he's applying for applied research and development. The recruiter says that their company only hires the top 5 PhD graduates from Harvard, Yale, and Princeton. The men behind the glass are the highest paid researchers on the planet, and Clark asks, what are they working on now? The recruiter tells them that they just spent the last decade coming up with a way to derive electricity directly from salt water, and there are only 2 equations for figuring that out. Clark looks into the lab and he asks how long they've been working on those 2 equations. And the recruiter says about 3 years. The gaps are noted on the big screen out there. He then takes out a notepad and begins to write a formula. He then tells the recruiter to hand this over to the researchers. The recruiter takes the paper, telling him that he's not sure what this is supposed to mean, and Clark tells him just do it. A few seconds later, inside of the lab, the recruiter and the researchers begin to talk, and then they stop. And then the researchers jump up, giving each other a high five. The recruiter comes back, telling Clark not to leave. Whatever he does, don't move from that spot. And as the night falls, Clark sits in his bed on the phone as Martha asks how the job search is going. He tells her really well. He barely got started, and he already has some great prospects. One of them is enough to take care of them for the rest of their lives. Martha says that she doesn't need much. She's got her house, her retirement, memories of Jonathan and him. So there isn't much that she could even need. Martha goes on telling him it's nice to bring up a son who just wants to give back. The real question for her son is that what you want to do? So trust her when she says that anything that he decides, as long as he's making himself happy. The next day, Clark floated around thinking of what and where he could go. There's so many options for someone like him. And as he passes a coin newspaper machine, he sees one labeled the Daily Planet, and he drops his coins in. A short while later, at the Daily Planet, the editor-in-chief, Perry White, looks over Clark's resume. However, before he could fully read it, the reporter Lois Lane walks up to Perry asking, why did he cut her 3rd paragraph on City Hall? Perry tells her that the first reason was that it was redundant. Lois says that was her favorite paragraph. And Perry says, well, thank you for giving him a reason number 2. As Lois goes on, Perry calls out the photojournalist Jimmy Olsen, asking what happened on the pictures that he was supposed to upload a half an hour ago. Jimmy says that he did, but the server kind of choked on the files as he was sending them again. Once everyone finishes their business with Harry, he turns to Clark, telling him, look, you seem like a decent guy. However, the planet isn't what it used to be. The other players
I'll do some more sketching on the wings, but
hell, we might not even be here in a year. If you really want to work here, I'm going to need you to prove that you're worthy of the planet.
just trying to get the basic level down now.
As Clark gets out of the building, he looks down at the application and crumples it, tossing it into the trash. He looks into the sky, and suddenly he begins to float up, flying towards space. He looks down on this planet, thinking that back when he was a child, he asked the big question: who is he? What is he? His father Jonathan says, God's honest truth, we don't know. We wanted to hold off until you were older to tell you what we knew. But with the way things were developing, we couldn't wait any longer. Clark looks at him, tells him, show me. And Martha brings out a small metal object. She tells the story of how they found him. There was a loud sonic boom, and something came crashing down to the earth. His father and her ran over to the crash site, and they found him there. And they grabbed onto him before whatever it was could explode. Afterwards, there was nothing underneath what the crash. Just some black helicopters circling the area. But before they were even back home, they noticed there was something special about him. Martha pulls back the cloth covering the box to show Clark the piece of the meteor. And Jonathan tells them that they had someone look into some of the shavings of it, and they discovered that it wasn't from Earth. You aren't from Earth, son. Back in the current times, Clark flies back to Earth to visit his father's grave, and he tells him, I'm sorry for coming by so late. I wanted to tell you that I can't do it. I know it's something that you and Mom wanted, but I just can't do it. If I expose myself to the world, I will always be on the run, but there are still a lot of things that I can do to help people, openly or otherwise. I can find cures, expose corruption, give the average guy a leg up in the world. Those things can still mean something, and I won't disappoint you. As the sun comes up, Clark says that it looks like it's going to be another beautiful day. He wishes he could see it. But we'll talk again. Meanwhile, over at the 2nd Army Advanced Technology Division, Major Sandra Lee heads into work on their biggest project yet, figuring out what the hell it is that they're putting together. Unbeknownst to them, however, is the ship that Clark crash landed in, back with Clark. He walks over to the hotel and he sees fire trucks speeding by. He looks up and he sees a fire, and that fire is his room. He rushes past the police and the firefighters into a gravity can, which is his costume that his mother had sewn for him, and a piece of the ship debris. Clark speeds back out without being seen, and he floats in the sky looking at the piece of metal. The metal is giving off a weird kind of energy, and then it shocks Clark. He yells, ouch, and then says, so that's what pain is. And then he looks closer at the metal. As he looks, he sees something written on it, something written across the molecules that make up the metal. And then the piece gives him another shock, hitting Clark right in the head. As his body crashes into the ground, he clutches that piece of metal and that costume.
Nicole, what do you think of this?
Planet, Harry goes over some of the information with Lois and Jimmy when they start to hear tick, tick. And the three look out the window, and Harry says, Mother of God. Before him are a swarm of alien ships hovering over the city. The alien invaders begin to fire on the U.S. military, and the first person to run outside is Jimmy to take pictures. However, this invasion is not just happening in the U.S., but it's also happening in Rome, Hong Kong, and other major parts of the world. Over with Clark, and the part of the ship that he was holding begins to play back some things, and he can see and hear things. Two people discussing something about him, and then they're gone in a fiery blaze. He leans up, grabbing his head in pain, asking, what the, was that me? But before he can answer his own question, he looks up to see the alien ships, and he jumps into action. Back in the city, the aliens start to land, and they walk out.
Okay, I think it's too bright on one side.
They destroy everything in their path. And suddenly a screen appears over those suits, and a man's face appears, announcing that they would have made contact sooner. But it took almost 10 minutes to fully analyze the language. Really, this world is better if you would all learn one language, but it matters not now. My name is Tyrell, and I come from a planet that you've never heard of. I'm here to kill your world, should that become necessary. We've spent the last 20 years looking for someone. If he is hiding, and we shall continue to attack until he is provoked enough to reveal himself. If it turns out that he is not here, we will leave your world and try somewhere else. But only after several million of you are dead. Clark stands on top of the building watching these events unfold and moves his costume. And he flies off. He rockets down through the mecha suit, then he goes into Neodyne Lab to hand over a piece of what he had taken from the suits. He tells the recruiter that he has something for them to analyze to see if they can stop this. The recruiter says that he's sorry, but that's not his department. His insurance says that he can cover alien invasions. So he's just going to find the deepest hole and ride this out. The recruiter then goes back to talking on the phone and leaves the rest of the staff, not even attempting to look for a solution. Back in the streets, Jimmy continues taking pictures of one of the suits as it stops before him. Tyrell asks, why are you not running like the rest of the humans? And Jimmy tells him, I'm a news photographer. We don't run away. And Tyrell tells him, that is
I'm going to change that, shape that mask a bit more.
Clark watches the two of them interact, and just as Tyrell pulls back to
it's just the basic colours I was putting on today.
It lands right on the suit. One by one, the suits are destroyed.
I wanted to get the wings right as well.
Our target is found. Now step forth into the light. Clark flies back to the rooftop where he left his costume, and he thinks back to when Martha and John first gave it to him. Why is it so colorful? Martha says that she tried to dye it, but the material on the ship didn't change colors. It's really a good thing, though, because people will be focused on the colors and not his face. And then asks, well, why wouldn't I just wear a mask? And Martha says, because people need to see how powerful he is. Wearing a mask would just terrify them. The mask is what he will wear the rest of the time. The room goes silent and Clark looks at the costume again and he asks, so what's with the yes? Jonathan opens up a bottle of soda and he says, because you're not just different. You're more powerful than any man in history. So unique in all of the world. Extraordinary. Not just any man. More than just a man. You are a superman. So Clark put on the costume and he floats.
Well, man, play how you want to play. It's your game.
Clark flies down to the ground, crushing the
my
ground
game.
beneath his feet, and with one punch he takes out an
You're
entire
playing
number of mechanized suits. More alien ships appear, and they begin to fire as the jets pass by. And Clark leaps up, grabbing one of those ships, and rips.
Where? There's no star missions.
Oh, there's no side missions. Just go through the mission then, mate. I might have already done it.
Shows up knocking Clark through a building. Clark catches himself telling him that won't happen again. And he blasts back to the ground into Tyrell. While he gets a few punches in, Tyrell punches back into his throat and then he slashes into his neck. Tyrell tells Clark, I was hoping that you would have some idea of the troubles that you've caused. But I can see from the blank look in your eyes that you are blind to the truth. That's all but a few of your ancestors were. The death of Krypton was not an accident. It was an assassination. My people shared the same star as Krypton, but while Krypton was the fourth planet from the sun, ours was the fifth. Though the two planets evolved in a similar path, my planet was much harder as our resources were far fewer. Every 20 years, when our planets became close enough for space travel, there was a war. All of the things that Krypton had that they didn't. Things that they had that Krypton did not. This went on until someone appeared before them and came to them with a proposition. With his cooperation, he will provide the means to destroy Krypton. Probes that will penetrate the planet's surface and create an energy field, locking in the heat from the planet's core. The heat will build up, and before they realize what is happening, it will be too late for them. Thus, your planet was destroyed. However, there was one ship that managed to escape, and we have searched for you ever since. As Tyrell goes on with his story, Clark stops him and he says, growing up, I loved to read adventure stories, but I always cringed when the bad guys stopped to tell the good guy his plans. Never made much sense to me. Tyrell tells him, of course it wouldn't make much sense. That is, if perhaps the roles of good and bad were reversed. You see, right now, all I'm doing is trying to keep your heightened senses so focused that you didn't notice anything else until it was too late to stop it. Clark looks back to see the massive drills all over the world getting ready to drill straight into the Earth's core. His eyes turn red and he shouts, pull them back! Pull them back now! Tyrell tells him, no, and do say hello to the light of your fathers. Suddenly, a red blast shoots down from Tyrell's ship into Clark and he explains, we have acquired new abilities for the stars. With this red star light, there is nothing that you could do but feel hopeless and powerless. The pressure of the blast pins Clark to the ground, and watching from the outside is Jimmy. He hands his camera over to Lois and he tries to crawl inside of the red light, but it pushes him to the ground as well. Lois helps Jimmy back out and he says that there's nothing that they can do. And she looks at a cement truck and says, like hell there isn't. She hops into the truck and she begins to drive into that light. A chain is dangling from the back and Clark grabs onto it as Lois continues to drive, pulling him out of the light. Jimmy asks, did we get him? And Clark stands back up. So Lois tells him, yeah, we got him. With no words, Clark jumps into the skies to face Tyrell, and the two forces collide, shattering the windows around them. But this time, Clark doesn't let up his attacks. He punches into Tyrell, and then he fires a heat
Okay, I'll do a
blast
close-up
straight
for you.
into Tyrell's eyes. However, Clark begins to feel something calling to him. Back at the 2nd Army Advanced Technology Division, the scientists report that they've completed rebuilding the ship is going on with it. The ship begins to turn on, and then it rockets out of the facility into the sky. Tyrell grabs at his face, shouting, making a stand against me will not stop the destruction of this world. Is there any final words to the billions who will die for sheltering you? Clark thinks on it and he says, duck? Tyrell asks him, what? And then Clark's old ship smacks right into Tyrell. As it comes back around, Clark looks at it and he says that he's seen this before. He gets in, flies it straight into Tyrell's ship. Tyrell screams, no! And he flies into the ship only to see Clark around, destroying it from the inside. The computers announce that the fusion reactor has been breached. And Tyrell shouts that with the red starlight, both of our powers will be neutralized. We will both be killed in the ship's explosions. And Clark crashes down to the didn't we stay here? And he punches into
Staring out the door going, this is time
on
to
the side of the
go,
ship's parts fall and collapse right
when
on
it is
top.
time to
Through
walk,
his bloody
you
mouth,
will
he shouts,
walk.
you have learned nothing. Others like me will come and finish this. And Clark tells him, maybe so, and maybe they will come, but not today. And he flies off. Tyrell begins to laugh. You still don't know. You don't know about them. But before he can finish his words, the ship explodes. Clark thinks back to when Martha has told him there will be a time when he doesn't have to hide himself. He will be able to live his life and show the world what he can do. Then he can fly. He hurries back to the ground as the emergency crews begin to help everyone. And when there's a yell from behind, the recruiter from Neodyne runs up to him, telling him, "Look, I wanted to come and find you and offer you a job. You know, we can make boatloads of money here." Clark asks, "How can I even think about that when all of this just happened?" And the recruiter says, "Yeah, it's a real shame, but they're okay. The company's okay. No point in looking back, right?" Clark turns back to the recruiter and he tells him, "Sorry, not my department." With the city slowly returning to normal, Clark gets out to get himself some new clothes and his new mask. Later at the Daily Planet, Lois and Jimmy go over what they got from the invasion, and they see that they're the only news outlet that had pictures of Clark that were clear. Harry asks, "What are they supposed to call this guy?" And then Clark's voice in the background says, "Superman," because that's the name his parents gave him. Harry looks at Clark walking into the
Can't do it
office,
when
and he
she's
asks, "How would
knocking
you
himself, you
know?"
mate.
And Clark tells him, "I got it all in this interview that I just had with him an hour ago." Within seconds, Harry clears the desk for Clark and tells him, "Get to it and write." Clark sits at his new desk smiling. Lois asks, "Why here? You could have gone to any place with them." And Clark tells him, "Well, when I was out there with everyone, I saw the two of you, and you didn't back down. You didn't walk away. As if you were saying to the world, stay and die for the truth." Lois says, "Well, that at least proves you were out there. There's no way that you would have heard me say that. But I never saw you out there." She shrugs it off, telling him, "Oh well. So long as you're telling the truth, you'll fit right in." Jimmy pats him on the shoulder, telling him, "Welcome to the asylum." As the news stations report on this new super guy, the world seems to have mixed feelings about the new hero. Some are happy, some are scared, but overall,
No,
they're
it's
pretty
not.
positive. Meanwhile, in the arc,
Nothing.
two researchers complain that
go around to the other ones.
research wasn't
I think
such a
it's too
good
late.
idea. While they talk, something shoots down, and one of the researchers asks if that was just a sound or something else. The other tells him, "Nah, must have been the wind. Nothing ever happens up here." And inside the hole that was just made, Clark takes his ship to hide underground, and he said that he could sense intelligence coming out of it. There's a sentience to it. So teach him. Tell him who he was. Where did he come from? What is he supposed to do? The ship tells him that his task is to survive, use his powers well and wisely, and avenge the murder of his homeworld. Back at the Daily Planet, Jimmy sits on the rooftop with Lois asking, "What is he doing?" And Jimmy tells her, "I'm waiting, for him to arrive." Lois tells him, "It could be decades before we can wrap our arms around this." And Jimmy stops for shouting, "There, I've got my shot." And that's when he snaps a picture, and we can see Superman flying back through the town. And there you have it, guys. The origins of Superman Earth 1. Now, give me a vote down below. And I'm going to have Dan or Houston actually count up your comments and see who has a 1. Do you want Batman Volume 2 next? Do you want Superman Volume 2 next? Do you want Wonder Woman Volume 1 or Teen Titans as the next Earth 1 storyline that we will be covering? If you want to find out about the Earth 1 timeline in general, check out this playlist. Right over here, you'll see something brought to you by YouTube. And you can subscribe to the channel if you want to support us and help us grow and give you more amazing comic books. And if you want to do more to support us more directly, please visit our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/EligiBoneMonster, where you can find me and the rest of the team streaming on mostly every single day and night. And that is how you can support us. Now, I will see you next time right here.
Or you can subscribe to my channel, guys. You can listen to them while I draw. Hopefully you are enjoying today's drawing, guys, as I'm really enjoying doing this mask right now, and I'm really enjoying doing the wings for you this week. Hopefully we'll be getting this finished as much as possible today. If I don't, again, I will come back tomorrow, guys. Again, my name is Blut084, BLUT084 Art and Games. And again, this week is week 2 of Dark Week. And we're listening to some more comic story, guys. So if you want to know where they come from, I will leave it down below. But otherwise, guys, enjoy and keep watching. If you want to follow me anywhere else, I'm also on Instagram. Same name, different place.
We're bringing you the Earth 1 storylines. We've already done Batman and Superman. And one of the requests that you guys said was that we should do all the volume ones. Then you decide where we go after that. Well, today we're going to be covering Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that's what I said as well. They did that bit.
This is kind of cool because it's a similar story to
What is up, guys? I'm being outstage.
Long before the paradise island of Amazonia, the women of Greece lived lives subservient to men. The Amazons were forced to work as Hercules, the man god, made Queen Hippolyta kneel before him in the mud. Hippolyta prayed to Aphrodite to give her strength, and her call was answered. Aphrodite said that she must reclaim the stolen girdle, for it is what protects her from this mortal man god. In that brief moment of time, Hippolyta reached out and took what was hers, and then she submitted to Hercules. As Hercules felt her body, he tells her that the other Amazons will know that this is what Hercules has made of her. And she leans in and whispers to him, he has made her patient. With her chains, she wrapped them around the man god's neck and strangled him until his body stopped moving. The men of Greece heard the struggle, and as Hippolyta puts on her girdle, she tells her sisters to spare none. The Amazons fought for their freedom that day, casting aside the shackles of man to be slaves no more. It was time for them to leave man's world, for them to live in a place of peace, a world that bears no mark of man. 3,000 years passed, and the paradise island Hippolyta sought to create thrives. However, this day, Queen Hippolyta holds trial for one of her own, her daughter, Diana. As the Amazons take Diana out, she is bound and chained and told that she is under arrest by the queen, her own mother. Diana tells them that she understands what she did. It was her decision to make. Later, as she stands in the trial arena, accused of breaking ancient vows and laws, the fates will bear witness to her defense. Two Amazons come out and they begin to wrap Diana in the lasso, and Hippolyta tells her that she is now bound by truth's lasso, and henceforth she may tell no lie. Let the trial commence. Diana looks at the rope and says, why would she lie? Whoever taught her to lie. As she recalls, it all began on the night before the hunter's moon, at the festival. Dindra the deer had hurt herself in the cliffs, and she required Althea's purple ray in its omni-healing frequency to mend the deer's wounds. As she left, Althea asked if she would be at the games this year, for they all knew that Diana was forbidden to participate. Her royal strength and endurance would give her an unfair advantage over the women of Amazonia, so she'll sit back and play her usual role. Later, as the queen watched the scenes from man's world, in her mirror, she saw all of the destruction and the violence that raged on. It was through her magic sphere that she could see the rest of the world and the horrors that came with it. Their masculinity is but a sad and broken aberration of nature, always yearning for what they cannot be or own. Diana had often wondered what it was that her mother had seen in those brief moments in the mirror, the strange language that she had heard. But Hippolyta would tell her that she would learn of it one day. Hippolyta then went on to reminisce on the day that she brought her dream to life, made out of only clay and the magic of a god. The day she had her daughter. Diana tells her yes, she was a clay figurine brought to life, and that is all she will ever be. Dirt that imagines it's alive. Hippolyta says that it is simply not true. She is her wonder child, a gift from the gods. And Diana wonders, asking, for what purpose? To be the eternal, unchanging princess of this fantasy island? Hippolyta tells her that they have spoken on such matters many times, and if she needs counseling, it is available. Diana shouts that isn't what she needs. What she needs is to be in the games. And while the two have the same argument they often have, Diana reaches back for the mask of the oppressor, to fulfill her role for the coming night, as she always does, to be the oppressor, as they reenact the events that gave the Amazons their freedom. Once the stars came out, it was the beginning of the festival, and it started like it always does. It was a time of celebration and to be merry, to show who's strongest in their contests, and to show appreciation for the lives that they are given. But then, the lion appears, to challenge the women's assurance and certainty. Diana laughs loudly as the women all chase after her. And just as it's been for the past 30 years, the women are no match in finding Diana. It is after escaping that Diana found something that she never once has seen in person, a human, a male human, and he is washed up on their shores. The man was injured, so Diana brought food and the purple ray to see if its healing light would have any effect. The man struggled trying to understand where he was and what was going on, but Diana quickly began picking up from the man's language. She handed him fruit, telling him, I'm Diana. The man Steve Trevor asked, where is this? Rio? And the more he talked, the more Diana couldn't understand. She then began to ask if he was really a man and started to check. Steve asked if she could remove her hand from there and asked, where is he? She continues with his pain and she attempted to heal him, but it would seem that the purple ray has no effect on men. The other Amazons would certainly kill him, so there must be something that she can do to help him. The next morning marked the beginning of the contest of strength to decide who among them would be the champion. And just as the games began, Diana appeared, still in character, challenging the women to a fight. The women all attacked with their weapons, but with little effort, Diana deflected every shot. The next battle was to be on the back of the congas, and as Diana knocked Mala off, Mala says that it isn't what's supposed to happen. Diana then lunges up, pinning Mala to the ground, and announces that there, she has bested the champion of Amazonia, and therefore demands tribute. Wide-eyed, Hippolyta stares, stating that this is the first time in a millennia that there is a new champion. Diana states that she would claim Mala's swan plane, and Hippolyta says that the robot plane now belongs to her and her alone. Hippolyta holds up the champion's laurel and tells Diana to come take what is hers. The women in the crowd begin to boo, shouting that it is unfair, and they can only lose to Diana. And as Hippolyta crowns the victor, she quickly tells Diana that she is required in her chamber immediately. Later at the queen's chambers, Hippolyta shouts, stating that Hercules is supposed to yield to Mala in loving submission. Diana yells back that she is tired of playing the same role forever. She's tired of being Hercules. There's a bigger world out there, and all she wants is to be her own person. As the image in the mirror begins to change, Hippolyta asks, what is it that she seeks? The barbarous ruin that is man's world? What happened to her daughter? Why would she humiliate her sister Mala? There's a smell on her, a smell of something that she remembers. Diana soon takes her leave of the chambers, and as she does, Hippolyta watches and says that there's only one explanation for this madness. A man. Hippolyta announces to the Amazons that a man has come to Paradise Island. Follow Diana and find him, and she races to the cave where Steve Trevor is hidden, helping him onto the aircraft just as the others arrive. Mala sets her sky cycle down, stating that they were supposed to be together, and Diana turns to her, stating that she is the princess. They must all bend to her will, and this man is under her protection. As the hatch closes, Mala shouts that to leave the island is forbidden. They will be forced to shoot her down. And as Diana sits in the pilot's seat, she tells Steve that Mala is the greatest of the Wonder Women and her lover. He better be worth all of this, so whatever he does, don't let her down. Steve sits back, stating that the USA is a long ways away, northwest. He's with her kind of hostile. Diana tells him that men are forbidden to set foot on their island, and if they catch up, they're probably going to kill him. She then asks, "Are you ready for an outrageous adventure, Steven Trevor?" "I know I am." Through the storm surrounding Amazonia, Diana flies towards the mainland, asking if this is USA. Steve asks, "How fast is this thing?" And Diana tells him that this robot plane flies as fast as Hermes, the messenger of the god. They will make it, she promises. The more that she speaks, though, the more her language skills improve. And Steve asks, how is she learning to speak English so quickly? And she tells him that she listened and learned. A short while later at the hospital, Diana walks in holding Steve's body, stating that she's done all that she could. Steve needs man's medicine now. Back in Amazonia, Nubia asks Hippolyta if she's sure about this. And as the two blindfold themselves, Hippolyta says to be quiet. The slightest whisper will arouse the servants of the lady. As they reach their destination, Hippolyta calls out to the Queen of the Gorgons, and a hissing sound can be heard from within. Hippolyta tells Medusa that she needs her daughter reminded how frail and temporary the flesh of man is. And over in the hospital, the doctors begin to treat Steve, and Diana tells them that she can help. The doctor tells the nurse to please remove this young woman, and Diana asks the nurse, "Do you only allow men to minister your own kind?" As the doctors roll Steve away, the nurse stops Diana, telling her that they have alerted his superiors in the military. Captain Trevor is in the best hands. As Diana stands there, she looks at the nurse's hands and says that they are so small and sickly. The nurse heads over to assist the doctor, stating that they cannot help her wandering around this place. And Diana looks around, asking how much worse can this world be. However, Diana does what she is told not to do, and she wanders around the different rooms. She stops one by one, seeing several women being treated, and tells the nurses to allow her to help. She is a specialist. Inside one of the curtains is a frail older woman, and Diana kneels down beside her, telling her that she is proud of
Mary Jane.
Please, what is her name? The woman grips Diana's hand, telling her that she is an angel. Slowly draws her final breath. Diana turns back, asking, why are their sisters dying? Their lives, their wisdom, lost forever. Unrecorded. What world is this where women perish alone and afraid, or cower for the wealth of a man? She should be here. There is so much violence and pain and noise all around. And as Diana runs outside, she stops on the military, all pointing their guns at her. She tells the men that they are sons of Ares. The boy is
like ants. Just checking comments, guys. No, your phone's run out of battery.
The command asks Diana to stay where she is, and she asks, by whose command?
Whoa,
She looks the jeep that they are in, stating that she thinks not. Men are so easily impressed by strength. She sets the jeep back down, and she walks through the crowd, and one of the soldiers grabs her, telling her to wait, honey. She throws the man to the ground, boarding her plane, asking, must you prove my mother right? Tell Steve Trevor that my name is Diana, and your world has nothing that I need. Back in the current times, as she's continuing her story, Hippolyta tells her to step down. They will now hear from the one that they call Elizabeth Candy of Man's World. Through the shadows, Beth says that she warned that the girls here were kind of kinky, and she was right. Candy stands on the podium and calls out to the crowd, and Hippolyta tells her not to disgrace her sex with vulgar exhibition. She is here to speak and explain how it is she came to meet Diana. Beth is then wrapped in the lasso, and Beth laughs, stating, you don't need a golden rope to have her tell the truth. This is the true life story of how the Holiday Girls escaped certain death. It was a dark and stormy night as the girls of Beta Lambda sorority were on their way to spring break. Lightning had struck, causing their bus to swerve off the road and down the cliff, and there was something that stopped the tumbling. Diana was the one that stood there holding the bus, asking if everyone was all right, and it was from there that they all became good friends. As the girls got off the bus, Diana had explained that this storm was her mother's rage, and then asked, what has the man's world done to their bodies? Beth told her that she happens to think that her body is the best that it's ever been, and she really hopes that her and her circus are on the way to Fort Lauderdale. From there, Diana helped tow the bus the rest of the way. Meanwhile, over at the hospital, Steve's superiors asked exactly what happened, and what happened to their $100 million aircraft. Steve told them that he flew it into a freak hurricane and landed on some uncharted island in the Bermuda Triangle. As for the women and the rest, well, he doesn't remember everything. Suddenly, the men begin to hear something, and they ask what's going on. And Steve smiles, telling them to go verify it for themselves. That's got to be his angle, his Wonder Woman. Diana then walks in, telling Steve that she is neither his nor anyone's. She needs answers to her questions, like, how did he come to Paradise Island? This broken world must submit. all will be clear. A short while later, the superiors return, telling Steve that they have arranged for him to stay in the hotel with that woman, and he is to get to the location known as Paradise Island. Is that clear? Steve looked at them and told them, yes, sir. Never clear. Over in the hotel, Steve told Diana that this is the wrong time to be talking about changing the world. Those men are trigger happy at the best time. So lay off the feminist jihad. There's a knock on the door, and Diana opens it, taking the small package from the bellboy, telling him thank you. Steve looks down, telling her that her English has gotten really good. He didn't mean to offend her or anything, and he's never gotten around to thanking her for saving his life. She shuts the door, smiles, telling him so he can thank her now. To save a life is to be tied to that life. Know that she will take care of him and keep him from harm. But first, she holds out a spiked collar and says, you must be willing to submit to loving authority. Kneel, for we are bound. Steve just stares at it. Diana asks what? And after that situation, Beth and the others came by to give Diana a makeover, which Beth says that the majorette suit was her idea. Diana stepped out in her new garments, asking what do they think, and Beth said that she hereby declares her an honorary member of Beta Lambda. Welcome, holiday girl, Diana. But moments later, Diana smells something in the air and says no, she wouldn't have. She runs out of the room, telling the girls to stay back and shield their eyes. However, it is too late, as she has already seen a man turn to stone, and then realizes that the Gorgon is there. Diana then turns into Steve's room and sees that he too has been turned to stone. She follows closely behind Medusa to find her mother has also sent her guards to capture her. Diana steps out asking the Gorgon, a war party, has Hippolyta ordered this, and Mala tells her that she is coming with them. Any attempt to resist will be met with force. Beth calls out to Mala and the others that if they take on one of them, they're going to take on all the holiday girls. Mala laughs, asking, are these the women of man's world, deformed, shrunken, bloated, confiscated cattle? Beth says that she can see there is a lot of class on Amazonia, huh? Kind of just spoiled the fantasy of it all. The military begin to flood in, and Diana asks Mala would she prefer that she trounces her in front of all of these men. Instead, Diana kneels down, telling Mala that she surrenders herself in loving submission to the will of Hippolyta. Mala tells her wait, but Diana goes on stating that by the laws of Aphrodite and Athena, she is entitled to a fair trial in her presence, a trial by truth. Now take her in chains before the queen. As Mala holds the chains around Diana, they walk out of the building, and Mala says that she stole her plane, exposed them to man's world. What did she hope to accomplish? Diana says that she was hoping to prove that the Amazons can hide no longer, that it is their duty to improve the lives of women everywhere, that the time has come to share their great culture. Back in the current times, at the trial, Hippolyta says their culture has thrived for 3,000 years without men. They made paradise, and she brings this among them. The statue of Steve is brought out. Diana says that she knows that no living man is permitted to stand on their soil, but if she restore his life, will they hear him speak? Althea says that it's impossible to restore him. The purple ray has, but Hippolyta stops her, telling Diana that Althea has challenged her. Diana's chains are removed, and she's given the purple ray, and says that the effects of Medusa's gaze are reversible. She has recalibrated the purple ray, setting it to the frequency of man's world. Everyone watches as Diana focuses the beam onto Steve, and she laughs as Steve shouts, coughing up stone and dirt. He says it was like she had snakes. And Diana whispers, telling him that it's good to see him again. Now she just needs his hand for a moment. She wraps the lasso around his hand, stating that the queen will ask him questions, which he will be compelled to answer truthfully. Good luck. Before Steve even has a chance to ask anything, Hippolyta asks him, how did you come to Amazonia? Was it by chance or by design? Steve looks at the lasso and says that he was sent here by the government to investigate reports of the so-called ghost signal, and then he encountered an anomaly and crashed. Hippolyta tells him that it is a pity that he did not perish on their shores, but his superiors. Did he tell them anything? He tells her, no, he lied to them, and he will lie again if he has to. But let it be known that she alerted them to their presence, not him. Hippolyta asks, why would he lie to his superiors? Is it lust? Does he lust after her daughter and wants to deceive her? Steve tells her no. He lied because, well, like a lot of people in man's world, his ancestors were enslaved and persecuted by men with far too much power. Your daughter saved my life twice, so from now on, I'm on your side. Hippolyta asks again, do you lust after Diana? And Diana pulls the lasso off of Steve, stating that that is enough. Steve says that they are walking mythology. They have a phrase back at home, way out of my league. Okay? Hippolyta says fine, it is done then. And Diana tells her that the trial is not done. She calls one last witness. Without her account, this trial is a sham. So she holds up the lasso and says that she is submitted to her sisters for the trial of truth. Yet, how is she permitted to testify when she is a doll made out of clay and given life by the gods that she has never met? Hippolyta pauses for a moment and says that she should have let him die in that cave. But now she can see that this was her intent all along. The force changed upon them. Diana tells her no. Others would have come. The signal that drew them in here was her mirror. Diana wraps Hippolyta's hand in the lasso and then asks one question.
Yay!
What substance am I made of? Hippolyta tries for a moment to say anything else, but then she's compelled to speak the truth. She had made a fairy tale to keep her innocent. There was no statue of clay. Is she sure that she wants to hear the truth? The truth can wound more deeply than the sharpest blade. Diana asks again, what substance is she made out of? And Hippolyta tells her, an egg from her womb. And the sea of the loins of the man god god Hercules. Blended by the emoletics, seasoned by her fury, she were to be her revenge on Hercules. That his line would yield no sons, only daughters, to breed and conquer and subdue man's world. Of her own anger was she born. The native Amazon vigor, combined with the blood of Hercules, would make her unbeatable. Yet also proud, rebellious, restless, his blood calls her to man's world to battle. She is made to be her weapon against man's world, a scourge, a destroyer. Instead, she was Diana, so graceful, so clever, so filled with love. But as time went on, it quenched her rage. She had lied, and it's true that she loves her more than life itself, so please embrace her. Diana stops and turns back to hug her mother, and Hippolyta goes on stating that she lied to her. To all of the Amazons, because of that, she must step down from the throne and go to man's world to die. It takes but a moment to realize what Hippolyta is doing. She is stepping down to force Diana to become queen, which will prevent her from ever leaving the island. As Hippolyta walks off, Nubia stops her, telling her, actually, that decision is not yours to make. The eternal queen serves the Amazons eternally. You are not permitted to abdicate. Diana then kneels down before the great sister and says that there are fights. She will win them, but she won't be a weapon or a warrior. Let her be more than what she was made to be. The sisters tell her that she will be as the fates of heralds, young, fierce, indomitable, and peerless, beautiful, strong, and wise, and dark, and a wonder. Diana is her name. And so, back in man's world, everyone stops to take pictures of the arrival of Diana. She tells everyone that it is time that they had a talk. And there you have it, the Wonder Woman Earth 1 storyline. Now that we have Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman done, let me know in the comments down below which of these Earth 1 storylines you enjoy the most. Don't forget to follow us here on Comic Story to get your daily comic book knowledge bomb right on you. You can follow me on Twitter where I send out single tweet reviews, and you can get my quick opinions on the comics as I read them. And you can also follow the playlist right here or right here. Thank you guys for getting far, and I'll see you next time right here.
I always let them know I'm on my way. It's part of the fun. They just want to know I'm coming home. I don't know who gets more excited that I'll be home for bedtime. Them or me.
Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible fights to help you understand that everything dramatic is actually. Today we're going to be doing an older storyline. This is one called Carnage USA, in which Carnage took over a town in mid-America and basically turned them into like the Church of Carnage. It's as awesome as it sounds because the Avengers, Spider-Man, and a surprise guest had to show up to stop Carnage. Now I am going to do something. There's a lot of voices in this, so characters like Carnage, I just kept the Carnage voice when he was Cletus or Carnage, letting you guys know right now. That's all you need to know. This story is really old. A lot of what happened in here doesn't matter anymore in current continuity.
Okay, right, guys. It's 5 o'clock. We're going to start another playlist. I'm going to pause that here. I'm going to pause that here, guys, and say thank you very much for watching today. Going to get my. Just going to quickly get my tablet here. Take another quick selfie for everybody to check out, and just say thank you very much for watching today, guys. And I will be back tomorrow as we're running late on time now, and I've got other things I've got to be getting on with at home and things like that. So I'm going to say thank you very much, guys, for watching today. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you're new to the channel and you've watched all the way to the end today. And don't forget, later on we'll be playing some more Spider-Man PS4. But hopefully you have enjoyed today's sketching and inking and coloring and different. I did it in a different way, guys. So I think it's worked out a lot better than it normally does. But I'll take a picture I'll take a picture of this for Instagram so you guys get to see what I've actually drawn today. But like I said, I'm not finished. I've still got to do some more on the wings, some more with the face, the clothing, and such like that. But I think we're doing a better job than we did last time. I'm trying to learn the app a bit more now and seeing what things actually do. But yeah, guys, hopefully I have enjoyed today. Don't forget to leave a like if you have liked today's stream, and I will see you again tomorrow for some more. My son's clapping in the background. Some more drawing and art by me, Blut084, BLUT084 art and games here every day on YouTube, occasionally on Mixer, but every day and night over on Instagram. Same name, different place. Thank you very much for watching today, guys, and I will see you tomorrow for some more drawing, or tonight for some more of this game of Spider-Man PS4. And I can't tell you too much because my son's in the room, but definitely go check out earlier on yesterday's stream so you guys can catch up, because it went down. I'll catch you later, guys. Thank you very much for watching today. And see you later, Nicole. And I'll try and get a phone call with you on that WhatsApp. Send me your number over on Instagram, and I'll give you a buzz.
All right.
Or I'll give you a text. All right. So I'll catch you later, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow or later on. Bye for now.